Me? Et moi? Hey, let me hook you up here a little bit. Oh, wait. It's a Friday? It must be big sales time. Let me hook you up here, Fanatic and WIP. If you'd like me to program your stations, tune in today because I got some more content for you. See, I'm here to help. I'm here to educate. I'm here to teach these youngsters how to do a show. Most of those people don't know what the hell they're doing. So where do they come? They come to Big Sills, the fire starter. Oh my God. Don't tell me all this stuff is true. Holy cow. How you doing? Yeah? Hey, Twin says 500 owned Sills. Well, I own your freaking market. This is where they get their content from. AJ Owens, Mr. Bipolar. You're welcome. You're trending all day, sweetheart. You're trending all day. Man, 6 days to the draft, too? How you doing? I know, flexing. Hey, Brian, thank you, brother. Why is AJ Brown as the thumbnail? Because he's a drama queen. He's a drama queen. We're going to get a little serious on it, too, instead of just having fun with him, which is so easy. It's easy. He's bipolar. One of the absolute great NFL drama queens, AJ Owens, also known as AJ Brown. This guy's got a lot of TO in him. It's just more subtle. It's just a little more subtle. So let's chronicle the little diva's activities over the last week, shall we? Now, wait a minute. Hey, Barb, anyone, have I started this? Have I started this? Have I started this? Sue goes, here we go again. Here we go again? She goes, here we go again. Barb goes, no, not at all. Sue doesn't see it that way. How many people think that I started this BS with AJ Owens? Matt goes, you start everything, Sills. My wife would say that too, dude. Why would New England be so stupid to trade for a big contract wide receiver and not get a stud with the third pick on a rookie contract? Who says that Marvin Harrison is going to be as good as A.J. Brown? Are you nuts? A highly thought of wide receiver in the NFL draft versus a proven commodity. Really? I wouldn't take that bet. Yes, you did, Sills. Hey, get this. You got people at WIP right now saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than A.J. Brown. I do not subscribe to that. Sills, A.J. Brown for the number 3 pick, and we get Marvin Harrison Jr. Keep cooking. These frauds like LJ. LJ, man, he has nothing to stand on anymore. Look, I think Marvin Harrison's a fine-looking ball player. But A.J. Brown is a legitimate NFL top 3 wide receiver in this league. For me to take a guess that Jalen Hurts is going to help that guy turn him into an all-pro receiver is highly suspect. Not even the Eagles would believe that. Okay? Think about what we have done to A.J. Owens. Seriously, man, what a baby. I thought some of you, by the way, the people that go on my Twitter page, James, our great IT guy, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about. Half the shit you guys say, about me bringing this stuff up. I didn't bring any of it up. Let's chronicle it. You tell me if I did any of this. Devontae Smith gets his new deal 3 days ago. Hey, okay, El Yepa. AJ just wants more money. He wants to be a Pat, and he wants to get the dough. Here, let's chronicle it. Okay? Let's chronicle it. Devontae Smith gets his deal 3 days ago or a couple days ago, right? 3 days later, A.J. Brown changes his entire social media platforms to everything Patriots. His agent finds out about the conversations that the Patriots and the Eagles have had about him. The Eagles must have told him. Why else would he do that? I watched The Dynasty. He's a freaking liar. His agent told him that the New England Patriots had inquired about his availability. And you know who told him that? The Eagles. Then it's confirmed by Albert Breer and others. Yes, the Patriots had contacted the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman about his availability. So far, everything I've said is true. See look what Jay's trying to do. He's trying to make me into the drama queen when all these things are things the Eagles, the Patriots, Brown, and his agent have done. I'm just commenting on it. He's a liar. Then he tells us in a post. How about this? Then he tells us in a post, I didn't know changing my social media platforms to Patriot things was going to be so controversial. Then he deletes that post. This is all in 24 hours. My question, once again, is why? Why would you do that with a team that's already fragile with its leadership? You've lost Jason Kelce, Fletcher Cox. Your quarterback is being questioned for leadership. Your head coach is being questioned for leadership. And you got a wide receiver that's creating a soap opera. What's the point? Don't you think if you were a leader, you would try to settle the noise instead of creating drama? A.J. Brown did all of this because he wants more money. I told you. And when James put that post up, I know a lot of people were a little bit suspect on that post. How's that post look now? To the point? Slow news day? He's trending on X right now. Forrest Hill goes, Sills, love you, but move on. Oh, I see. Move on from your headache wideout. I'd love to move on from him. Wide receivers like A.J. Brown are overrated. I can't point out it enough to you. Those guys are overrated. Having a big-time wide receiver on your team is overrated. Having a guy with 1,500 yards on your team is overrated. You want to move on? Hey, let's move on. I'll move on. Hey, Forrest, have a great Friday. You're not going to program my show. Go take a knee to some other guy. I don't care if you're here or not. If you think you're going to program this show because you're uncomfortable about your bipolar wideout, have at it. You can't threaten me. Like the Joker says, you have nothing that I've ever did, done, will do that will threaten me. Nothing. I'm not like them. Nothing. You have nothing to threaten me with. The Eagles have nothing to threaten me with. Nothing. IP, Odyssey, iHeart, you have nothing any longer to threaten me with. Nothing. They tried to threaten a YouTube show. You have nothing to threaten me with. Get over yourselves. But for some reason, people come to our show, and most notably the NovaCare Center. I could have 5 viewers, and they'd all be from that NovaCare Center on what I say. You know why? It's because of the people I know. How about we introduce a little chaos? Now you're talking. Hey, Chucky, now you're talking. How about we introduce a little chaos? Hey, Chunky, now you're talking. Now you're talking. Yes, sir, baby. This guy here, man. Here. Let's do this and let's be serious here. Here's my problem, honestly, with it. Do I think they're going to move A.J. Brown? Absolutely not. Is he a great ball player? Of course he is. It would have to be an extraordinary deal for the Patriots and the Eagles for them to make a move like that. Absolutely, all of that is true. My problem is with this guy's mentality. He is a nuclear meltdown, and he is so emotional, he's not reliable. He is not a reliable leader. I need leaders on this team. He's not one. Remember the question I ask you all the time? Who's taking the place for Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox? It's surely not that guy. Jason Kelce's losing his Super Bowl ring in a bowl of chili. This guy is messing around and dicking around because he's butthurt because Devontae makes more money, and the Eagles, more so with the Eagles, are paying his buddy more money or as much money as him. Imagine being upset over that. You're upset. Why so serious? It's all seriousness. Hey, put that up there, Xander, because I want to make sure all super chats, please. 100 catches, 1,400 yards, reliable, brings you nothing. Hey, Xander, could you put that super chat up, please? Hey, by the way, Steve, what's it gotten you? Nothing. Wide receivers in the National Football League that are these big diva guys don't bring you Super Bowls. They just don't bring you Super Bowls. Anytime these big money receivers want and get big money, they don't deliver. They deliver for themselves. Howie sees a blockbuster deal. Bills, wide receiver 1, why not package Hurts Brown to Buffalo for Allen? That never will happen. We get it. So Eagles should get rid of their receivers and draft rookies every year. Why? The Patriots do, or the Kansas City Chiefs do. Hey, Xander, when we can get that super chat up again, I want to make sure that I put it all out there for you. Reddick sign yet? Right again, beast. Yeah, where's Hassan Reddick's deal? Only you told me he was getting a contract extension with the Jets. Where's that? Where's that? It's a win-win. It's a win-win. I'm going to get to Surtain. Promise. Win-win, baby. Really? For who? Let me know in 3 years, senor. Seth exposed that last night on Tone Show. Please let go of your GM takes. You want AJ gone when you make rumors. I didn't make rumors. The league listens. Please give AJ an offseason. This is not rumors. This is what he did. He chronicled this. He did this. These are his actions. These aren't rumors. The Patriots called the Eagles. Facts. He changed his social media after he found out that the Patriots had inquired about his availability. Then he came up with some bullshit lie that said, well, I watched Dynasty. I doubt he could spell Dynasty. Okay? I doubt it. The world revolves around him. You think he gives a shit about being an Eagle? Or 1,400 yards and 100 catches? Do you really think Stephon Diggs, do you really think he gave a shit on being a Bill? You think Justin Jefferson gives a shit that he's a Viking? Those guys don't care. Do you think Terrell Owens cared about being an Eagle, 49er, Cowboy? They don't give a shit about that. They care about their numbers. They're paid on numbers, not wins. They're not paid on wins. Whether you have a 6-game meltdown or 11 wins, get to a Super Bowl, or have 4 wins, A.J. Brown doesn't give a shit about any of that. He never will. Devontae does. You know how I know that? He took a haircut when it came to money he left on the table. He wants to play in Philly. There could be something to that too. A.J. Brown hasn't showed one thing where he wants to play in Philly. Devontae has showed me, you know how? Where it matters the most. In your pocketbook. How about this? Niners all damn day has got a situation going on with his team. You got Debo Samuel and you got Brandon Aiyuk. Well, if Brandon Aiyuk wanted to play and be a Devontae Smith and play number 2 to Debo Samuel, he'd take a pay cut. But he's bitching out loud. He doesn't do near and have the impact near of what Debo does. Same as Devontae. But the roles are reversed there. I guarantee you Debo would be crying too. Shit, he held out. Get this. Senor goes, Aiyuk has more yards than Debo. Are you trying to say that the impact on a football team with Brandon Aiyuk is more than it is with Debo Samuel? Have you ever watched a 49er game? Get this guy, Desmond. This guy, Miller. Just conjecture? Are you crazy, guy? Just conjecture? Have you been watching him the last week? Joey B, I like that. Dynasty spelled money. Should be money and stats too, Joey B. Should be money and stats. Debo 890. Hey, get this, guys. Let's put Senor in his place. If you were going to draft a wide receiver right now and take a wide receiver, would it be Debo Samuel or Brandon Aiyuk? Who would you take? I even feel dumb asking that. Who in their right mind would take Brandon Aiyuk? Who would take Devontae Smith over A.J. Brown? Sills, have you offered airtime to A.J. Brown? No, because you know why? He's like Joe Biden. No, not you. No, not you. You. No, not you. No, not you. You. No, not you. No, not you. You. No, not you. No, not you. And Bob Lang's in the background with a piece of paper. Don't go to him. Don't go to him. Don't go to him. Don't go to him. We just took his key fob away. This is the only place you get the truth now in Philly. It's the only place. You're not going to get fairness. And get this, you're also not going to get a show that brings people on like Philly 500 that completely disagreed with me. I put them on. I put you on. If this was a normal radio show at The Fanatic or at WIP, you know what the call screeners would be doing to you? Deleting you, blocking you. Do you understand that? You know that new Philly thing that they would be blocking you. We don't do that here. Unless you're completely obnoxious and say racially charged things. That's not what we do here. We open up this for everyone to agree or disagree. It's called debate. I hate to have to tell people this. This is your only voice. This is your only voice. You actually think, Brian, if Brian had a disagreement with me, you think one of those sensitive hosts over there are going to put you on to say that you're full of shit and how you're looking at this whole drama being played out by a diva wideout, that there's no need for it? Never. Never. Paul says, I'd take Aiyuk over Debo. It's funny, every time I see Aiyuk not on the field, doesn't matter. When I see Debo not on the field, it totally matters. You go right ahead, Paul. You'd probably take Devontae over AJ, too. It's okay. Joey, it's not that I'm the voice of reason. I'm the place that gives you the chance to contradict my takes. Okay, senor, take Brandon Aiyuk. Have at it. That's your guy. I'll keep Debo. No problem. All those nerds on Twitter trying to cancel you, Sills. Yeah, you see that? There's people on Twitter that are reporting me for saying something about Patrick Surtain or chronicling what A.J. Brown has done. Been fighting it for 30 years. 30 years I've been fighting it. Those are all media people behind the scenes doing that shit. Making shit up. Lying. Senor, congratulations. Go get him. Let me ask you something, senor, before we go on. Do you think that offense is built around Ben and Aiyuk in the passing game? Or do you think it's built around Debo and Kittle and Christian McCaffrey? You're out of your mind if you think he's the centerpiece on that team. He's probably the eighth best guy on that offense. But go ahead. I can't wait to see Brandon Aiyuk in another offense like Pittsburgh. Good luck to you. Wonderful. Kittle's never healthy. Dude, I'm not debating this anymore. You take Aiyuk, I'll take Debo Samuel. Listen, hey, 49er all day? Listen to that guy. Have him. Take him. I'll draft another guy and get the same results. Congratulations. You're a Brandon Aiyuk guy. Go right ahead. Great. There's a reason that guy's making $24 million. And that other guy is not and never will. That guy will never make $24 million. I mean, congratulations, senor. Fantastic. Hey, get this. Look at here. Here's how dumb this guy is. 1 out of 5 seasons with over 900 yards. And yet he makes $24 million. How's that working? Then how is he making $24 million? How's he making $24 million? Brandon Aiyuk would be the overpay. Oh, now he's overpaid. Brandon Aiyuk would be the 4th wideout in Philly. No Super Bowls. Same as your boy A.J. Brown. Why have him? A.J., Debo, Chase, or Batman, Smitty, Aiyuk, Higgins, or Robin. Completely true, Bob. Completely true. Completely true. Holy cow. Hey, like I said, this is the only place that you can come. For me, you couldn't do that on the radio stations in Philadelphia. I mean, right? You got Thumbtab spiking, giving you all these parameters that you have to have when you call into a show. He's kidding, but he's not. It's been a benchmark at IP since Tom Bigbie, not to keep a guy on over a minute. Used to act. You want to hear something? You want me to pull the curtain back on WIP a little bit? You know, one of the reasons I never really liked the station years ago, Tom Bigbie, the former program director in that building, used to have a light that if the caller was on and you were on longer than a minute, you had to disconnect. You couldn't voice your opinion because the PD didn't want you on for over a minute. That's like telling me to take a great record off. If there's a great song going off, I'm not going to take it off. If there's a shitty caller, you take them off immediately. That's my job, not yours, to determine that. That's not your job. Sitting in some desk telling me how to control my content. The content's been controlled there forever. AJ makes Sills cry like a bitch. Here. So here, let's do it one last time, then we'll move on to the topics, because I actually have some content today that's more than what this bitch AJ Brown does. He bitches. Not so much he's a bitch, he just bitches and moans and cries. I mean, look at the last 24 hours. Nobody's making anything up. He did it. How do you think this reflects? Hey, let's change gears. Let's change gears for a second. How do you think this reflects on the quarterback? How do you think this reflects on the quarterback? I'm done with the Aiyuk conversation. Over. Hey, senor, you win. Over. How do you think this reflects on the quarterback? How his diva buddy is acting? Jalen just shaking his head? Tom Brady controlled a murderer. Antonio Brown. Randy Moss. We're not talking about throwing the football and winning Super Bowls here. We're talking about leadership. I'm interested to hear what you think from my last super chat. Xander, can we get his last super chat up? I'd love to get it up there because I didn't get a chance to read it. I read some of it. As soon as we can get it up there, we will. There we go. Why so serious? In all seriousness, who are the top 5 biggest drama queens in the National Football League now and for all time? I think Tyreek Hill's a drama queen. I believe A.J. Brown's a drama queen. Ben Roethlisberger was one of the biggest bitches of all time. Even his coaches used to call him that. Let's see. T.O., Moss. It's funny, all the big name guys. And barely any of them have Super Bowls. Think about Tom Brady. Let me get back to that. So Tom Brady dealt with a murder, dealt with a bipolar Antonio Brown, a crazy-ass Gronkowski, a diva Randy Moss, and his job was to be a leader. So how does A.J. Owens reflect on Jalen's leadership when you saw what happened last year at the end of the year? Good, fair, bad. How do you think it reflects on him? How do you think it reflects on him? El Yapa thinks that AJ's a beast. He is. He's not going to win you a Super Bowl. None of those guys do. Big picking, bad. AB was never the same after the perfect hit. He won a Super Bowl after the hit. He won a Super Bowl in Miami. Or, excuse me, Tampa. What are you talking about? I'm an Eagle hater? No, I'm not an anybody hater. I told you before. I only hate one thing, Nazis. I don't hate anything. Well, Gators too. Gators too. And not alligators. Hey, Pickin, be nice to see your quarterback step up. Okay, let's move it on. How do you think this reflects on Nick Sirianni's leadership? Good, bad, fair? How do you think? Good, bad? Nick Sirianni. Senor says that Jalen Hurts is a great leader of men. Yeah, he looked it. All pouting on the sidelines, moaning and crying. Even Fletcher Cox said something about it. Might want to step up, kid. That's not me saying that either. That's one of his teammates. I didn't say that. Remember something. I'm an observationist. I'm not a journalist. People do something, say something. I respond to it. Sean goes, hate Seminoles? Nah. 3-0. Nah. I'm good against them dudes. Got a couple game balls right back there for them. We're all good. I got a couple Gator game balls too, though. Wide left. We didn't need any of them games. A.J. Brown is the truth. You haters need to be quiet. Then why doesn't he shut the hell up? I'll tell you what I'll do, Jay. If A.J. shuts his hole and that hole on his face, I will too. No problem. Joey B., I'm not a journalist. I've never have been in my entire life. Even though I've never been one. You know what those words, you know what journalist equals to me? Key fob whore. That's what it means to me today. Used to be a time when that was a big, a real honorable profession. Okay? Now it's not honorable. You know who said that? Dan Patrick said that journalism today is spelled with little letters. He said that. That's why Pat McAfee is the biggest show on ESPN. It's not because of journalistic integrity. You think dropping F-bombs on a network like he does is journalistic integrity? Or his takes on the vax? Or his takes of ripping ESPN journalists is journalistic integrity? You need to get your head out of your asses. That's lost decades ago. Journalistic integrity. Give me a break. Since when? If you watched MSNBC or CNN or Fox, give me a break. AJ would come on with Sills and he'd get asked about Hurts's QB abilities. Yeah, I would ask him. I would like to see someone else ask him. It'd be great if somebody in our market asked them. Calvin goes like this: 2 radio stations bitching about A.J. Brown changing his profile. No. They're not bitching about changing his profile. They're bitching about the drama he's creating for a team that doesn't need any offseason drama. They need to go to work on their defense, and work on their cohesiveness on offense. This is counterproductive stuff. All kidding aside, this is stuff you don't need right now when you're trying to pursue. Do you think this is becoming of a champion? Isn't this Dallas Cowboys shit? Do you actually think you would ever hear any of this in Kansas City with Andy Reid and Mahomes? You have to understand, it's not just the professionalism that Mahomes shows all the time, even with his loser brother and his big mouth wife. It's the professionalism that he shows in light of those people around him. Same with Brady. This has got nothing to do with ability. It's got everything to do with managing your team and focus. How many people believe that A.J. Brown is focused to win a Super Bowl right now? Do you? Hey, Barb, do you think A.J. Brown right now is focused to win a Super Bowl? Or do you think he's focused right now to try to get as much money as Tyreek Hill at $30 million because of what the Eagles just paid Devontae? And one last time, and I'll even go here with Senior. Debo Samuel, $24 million, no Super Bowl ring. A.J. Brown, $25 million, no Super Bowl ring. Devontae Adams, $28 million, no Super Bowl ring. And the 2 guys that are paid high weren't paid that money. They were paid after the fact. And Kansas City, when Hill wanted more, they told him, forget it, we're not paying you. And they kicked the can down the road. If Missing Parsons did this, it's a block on ESPN. 304, right. Or if CeeDee Lamb did this. Can you imagine if CeeDee Lamb was doing all this shit to Jerry Jones and to Mike McCarthy right now? Shit, they're already a 304. They're throwing a bitch that he's not at OTAs, right? They're throwing a bitch that he's not at OTAs. And he's practicing himself. Isn't that right? And Michael Parsons is working out himself. They're throwing a bitch that those guys are not with the team. How about this clown's ass? Creating things that don't need to be created. As a matter of fact, so today he deleted the post that explained his infantile behavior because the Patriots, once the Patriots confirmed that they had reached out and Elliott Wolf, the GM, had reached out to the Eagles, he deleted that preposterous lie of a text that even we posted. It makes everyone look stupid because I know what that kind of mentality is. Do you really think when he posted the explanation on why he changed all of his social media to Patriot stuff was what he posted? Holy shit, you are guppies and will fall for anything. I didn't believe a word of it. And no one else, well, that's not true. Everyone believed it. See, Sileo? And then he deletes it today when it was confirmed New England did reach out to Philly on his availability. This guy is bipolar. Dude, this would not be a drama queen open if it wasn't for the biggest drama queen in the league. You have him on your team in a time when you don't need it. New coordinator. Quarterback had a shitty year. 1-7 meltdown. No explanations. That fireside nightmare of a press conference pre-draft with Howie and Sirianni was a joke. God forbid you guys are running the tweed circle. Most of you don't know what the tweed circle is because your intelligence level by some of you, not all of you, is so low, you'll believe anything. You actually believe that explanation that Tom Brady was his favorite. Oh my God. Hey, by the way, the problem with the Philly media is they buy all that. We posted it. IP posted it. 97.5. I never believed a second of that thing. He doesn't give a shit about the Eagles. He gives a shit about his numbers. That's it. And when it comes out to be true, you try to make me the bad guy. Dude, I'm just watching this guy's behavior the last 2 days. And I'm commenting on it. And you guys don't want to be told what he's doing? How is that on me? Slager goes, if you don't agree, dude, what do you mean agree with me? I haven't thrown an opinion out yet. I got that coming up here. I haven't even hit the opinion page yet. What are you talking about? What's the opinion? The opinion on the things that he's been doing the last 24 hours? Because the Patriots made an inquiry about him and his agent and him found out? And that's why he did that. You understand that, right? How about this? Do we all agree the reason he did all this the last day was because his agent and him found out the Patriots called? Nothing about the Dynasty Netflix show. Had nothing to do with that. The following of Jacoby Brissett and some of the other players on the Patriots. It was because they inquired about him. NBC Boston confirmed it too. That's not an opinion. They confirmed it. You think there's any coincidence the Patriots confirming that they reached out to the... So wait a minute. Look at what Slager's trying to explain to you. He thinks it's coincidence that the day that Elliott Wolf, the general manager, says we're in the market for looking for a big-time wide receiver, he changes his social media platforms to Patriot stuff. The Patriots confirmed that they reached out to the Eagles. This is all in the same day. He thinks that's opinion. That's not an opinion. All of that's been confirmed. Slagger, what's not confirmed? That he changed his emojis and all that to Patriots? Patriots confirmed that they reached out to the Eagles? That's opinion? He says that's opinion when the Patriots have confirmed reaching out to Howie Roseman. That's an opinion. When it's been confirmed by Albert Breer, NBC Boston, and the Patriots themselves. That's opinion? And it just so happens on the same day he puts New England Patriots stuff up on his platforms. That's opinion? That's what happened. No. Again, I'm not debating with low forehead IQ people who don't get it. Dude, that's right. 10Z, he's not genuine. That guy's not genuine. And you know it. So let's move on. I mean, I could sit here all day and laugh at this guy for 100 hours on what kind of dope and what kind of drama queen he is and how bipolar he is on a day-to-day basis, and all this over money. That's ego. It's not a teammate. Devontae is a teammate. Let's move on. Patrick Surtain is in play. And here's what Sean Payton is now saying and how he is. The deal has to be right. And for Patrick Surtain to be dealt, the Eagles have the Eagles have reached out to the availability of Patrick Surtain. They're not the only team that have reached out for his availability. And here's why. Sean Payton came out today in a press conference and said, we need a quarterback. I think this is all going to come down to how much do they love any of the quarterbacks outside of Caleb Williams and outside of Jaden Daniels. Now, Jay goes, it's fake news. Hey, Jay, is it fake news that the 49ers and Eagles contacted Denver 3 days before the trade deadline? Is that fake news? Hey, here, let's take a look at it. NBC, Denver, did this along with NBC Philly. Not me. Here, NBC Sports. Confirmed. Both Eagles and Niners calling Broncos at trade deadline for Patrick Surtain. That's not fake news. NBC Sports. Pro Football Talk. It's not fake news. What's fake news? Mike Florio? NBC Sports? The Broncos themselves? What's fake news? Look at these guys. We move on from them. Last time we addressed them. Sean Payton has to be blown away with a deal. It's not rumorville. It was confirmed, guy, prior to the trade deadline. The 49, Howie Roseman freaking said it himself. My God. Hey, Prince, you know it happened. Here's how I think you could make this work. Okay. I think it's got to be a 3-team deal. Okay? I think it's got to be a 3-team deal here. Sills, who are the other teams in play for Surtain? I know the Niners are still, the Eagles are, and I believe Seattle is the other team that's involved with trying to make a trade for him. I think Arizona would like to, but because they have multiple picks in a first round this year. Here's how I think this has to happen. If it is going to be with Philly, this is what I would do. I'd give the 22nd pick in A.J. Brown to New England for that third pick. I would send the third pick to Denver for Patrick Surtain and a second rounder. Or a first next year. That's the only way that works. Because to me, they need a quarterback. He said, but I think again, he's got to be in love. And I don't think he is in love. Dave, here's the thing though. I don't think he's in love with these guys. Okay? I don't think now remember something. Hey, somebody help me here. What was the deal that Snead was traded to Tennessee? Was it a 2-5? I think that's fair. Okay? I think that's fair. Dual. It's steep because it's a steep position and player, and get this. Here's why it makes sense. He's still on a rookie deal. They just picked his 5th-year option up. So you have 2 years at this. 6.4 and then 15.4. You don't have to pay the player until 3 years. And guess what happens then? Bradbury and Slay's money's off the books. And you can maneuver the money around. You got $28 million invested in 2 corners right now. Okay? If you brought Surtain in, he'd only be making $6.4 million this year. Dude, these wide receivers are traded. Hey, let me ask you this. Are corners traded in their prime at 26? Are corners traded in their prime? Every single $20 million wide receiver except Devontae Smith has been on 2 or 3 teams before the age of 27. If they're so valuable, why are they moved so much? Snead for a 6th? Think about that. A 2 and a 6. So again, Denver wants, and get this, Denver's sitting at 12th. You're looking at Bo Nix or Michael Penix there. I don't know that shakes the room for them. Do you actually believe that Sean Payton is going to win with Michael Penix or Bo Nix? I mean, so Philly sends 22 and Brown to New England for the 3rd pick. You send that pick to Denver for Patrick Surtain, and you want a 2nd rounder or a 1st rounder next year or a 2nd rounder this year. and you get the deal done, and he's on a rookie contract still for 3 years. It's economically feasible, and it's a position that you need to upgrade and would make your Then you go into the draft, and you draft a linebacker, and you get another edge rusher, and before you know it, you start putting pieces on your defense that makes sense. You're not winning a Super Bowl or going to a Super Bowl with that defense and your offense currently constructed the way it is. You're a one-sided football team. I think that's a great deal for the Eagles. Are you really going to trust Howie Roseman drafting a corner when he's never? He's never drafted a corner in his life. Actually, I don't know of any Pro Bowlers he's ever drafted on defense. Like who? He's in play, but again, it has to be. He said it today, and so did Denver. Anything is in play right now. We need a quarterback. The only asset you have. Patrick Surtain doesn't do anything for you. Like New England. Here, figure this out, Barb. New England had the 7th best defense, and they still won 4 games. If they go into September with the current quarterback room that they have right now, they'll win 4 games with Patrick Surtain. What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. They're not going to draft one guy in that draft that will have the impact. None. Why would Denver give up Surtain? Will somebody tell them why they would give up Surtain? It's not that hard, dude. Somebody tell him who the starting quarterback right now is in Denver. Will somebody tell Mike who the starting quarterback in Denver is? For a guy that's making $25 million a year, he makes $25 million a year to fix the problems that they messed up with Russell Wilson, and now he's been asked to come in and fix. Jarrett Stidham is the starting quarterback in Denver. You asked the question, why would they get rid of Patrick Surtain? Well, you're not going anywhere with Patrick Surtain and anywhere with Jarrett Stidham as your starting quarterback. I don't think it can be any clearer. Can it? Jarrett Stidham? Jarrett Stidham. Mike can't figure that out. Jarrett Stidham. Okay? Sills, I would love to get Surtain, but can't see all the pieces lining up. If Denver loves May, I don't know. That's the key to me, too. Bob, that's the key right there, too. I don't really think that he loves him that much to do that. I personally do not. Okay? Stidham versus Mahomes, the quarterback. Okay, I don't see that he's like looks at Drake May and goes, wow. I do not see that. that he loves that. And by the way, again, the quarterbacks that are going to go, Jaden Daniels is going 2. Caleb's going 1. Denver most likely will stand pat. But again, are you really going to draft Bo Nix in the first round, pay first round money for a quarterback that you know is not good enough? Why would you do that and waste that pick? I'd rather draft Brock Bowers if he's there at 12. I'd rather draft Brock Bowers. Sills, would you trade AJ no matter what for another first rounder this year? No. By the way, it's preposterous that the guys at WIP are suggesting that Marvin Harrison Jr. And I can't believe Hugh Douglas is even in that conversation. A guy who's a legitimate 3,000-yard guy in the last 2 years, you're going to take a guy who played against Iowa, Indiana, Northwestern, and Michigan State and say that that guy is going to be a better football player than A.J. Brown at 26? With all of his bullshit, not happening. Not happening. Now, the only thing that I like about that deal is because it would be a rookie contract. However, to circle back, that means you have to take a $38 million cap hit. No, thank you. I'll stay where I'm at. I am not taking a wide receiver, trading AJ in for a wideout. What would I do that for? I'm already paying the guy and I got a cap hit I got to deal with. Not working. Now, you give me Patrick Surtain and I get a draft pick back, a first or a second this year. Now we're talking. I mean, now we're talking about a player who I can plug in and automate. And by the way, Surtain was drafted by Vic Fangio. He was drafted by your current defensive coordinator. He was his last first-round pick. This is the guy the Dallas Cowboys coveted. And personally, sorry, 304, Surtain's a better player than Micah Parsons. He's a better player. He's at a more needed position. Corners in the NFL, passing game versus an edge rusher. If I'm going to pay somebody $25 million or $20 million, I'm paying a corner, not an edge rusher. Not an edge rusher. I mean, Twiz, think about it. That guy helps you the next 10 years. AJ, so let me get this right. You guys, let's just spitball here. So if you don't win the Super Bowl this year, you would have paid almost $80 million for A.J. Brown. What's the point? In bankrupting your defense for a wide receiver you got nothing in return for except his own personal gratification. It's frustrating. I hear guys like Bill go, why would you trade your best player? Ask Jimmy Johnson that. Ask Jimmy Johnson that. Ask the Green Bay Packers that. Ask the Kansas City Chiefs that. Keeping people on your team for numbers doesn't result in the most important thing, Super Bowls. The last 2 years that A.J. Brown has been on the Philadelphia Eagle team has all resulted in personal bests. 1 year was really good for the team. The second year, the more, don't you see it, the more you throw the ball to him, the more yards he gets, the less games you win. and the less Jalen develops. Tell me you see this. Oh, I know. Well, let me ask you this. Wasn't Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon also first-year coordinators? Weren't they also first-year coordinators? Since we have Fangio, we should get a good DB, correct? William, why don't you get his DB? That's an all-pro. The 22nd pick for Surtain is not going to cut it. They're going to want a player. Brown, the 22nd pick, and I want Surtain and a high 2 or a 1 the following year. And we're in. Let me just put it to you this way. If you guys traded for Patrick Surtain, Xander, do you agree with this? If you traded away, AJ, the 22nd pick, and you got restitution back in a 1 or 2, and you got Surtain back, he'd be better if he was in this draft. He'd be the number 1 overall player taken, knowing what you know now. You couldn't draft a better player. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison. There's no player in that draft that's in that guy's league. Kyle goes, that's not a good deal. Kyle wants that guy to go, and get this, you're going to win a Super Bowl with lockdown corners. Ask the Chiefs. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with a high-powered wide receiver. That's if you also believe in your quarterback. Who would be our number 2 wide receiver? Get him in the second round. It's a very deep. You got 2. How many second rounders you have? You have 2 of them. Could even parlay those things up if you get the other 2 that I want from Denver into maybe trading back into the first round with somebody down at the bottom down here like Buffalo. Buffalo needs wideouts too. A rookie as the number 2 wide receiver. Why aren't you confident in your quarterback? Surely your quarterback can cover that. Oh, I can't wait to get to this next topic. They're probably staying put, senor. So it would probably not be Buffalo because they're going to get on them rookie contracts too. Probably Detroit, though. You could get in there at 29. They've got 2 wideouts they're pretty happy about. Get the kid from Kansas City or the kid from Florida State. Maybe Andy would trade with you. They're at 32. Okay? hey, I don't know, man. Master Chief. It's a backhanded slap with a comment. Story of my life. Hey, that's a story of my life right there, Master Chief. Denver should accumulate picks for next season with our 22 and future picks. Prince, I think personally, do I think that Surtain deal can happen? I don't think he's in love with the guys. Bo Nix and Michael Penix are where he's at now at 12. I think if he was going to pick a guy, it'd be Penix. Okay? It would be Penix. Hey, that's a good call. Miller, does Denver have – Denver might not have a second-round pick because they had to give up all those picks for Russell Wilson and also for – I know they had to give up a first-rounder for Sean Payton to New Orleans. But see, here's the thing, though, about Sean Payton. How many years do you think Denver's going to pay him $25 million to turn that thing around? I'm with you, Prince. I don't like any of them. The only quarterback that I think looks good enough would be Jaden Daniels. Okay. Sills, for conversation, what would Sean Payton give up for Hurts? That 12th pick in future. If Jalen Hurts was on the open market right now, he'd get a 1 for sure. He would, just by the body of work he's been involved in. Okay, I mean, it's wise to accumulate more picks. That's why I'm saying, no, Prince. If you want to give me, if I move AJ Brown, and I could get Patrick Surtain, and I could get a 2 this year on top of Surtain or a 1 next year, that means I'd have 2 number 1s next year. Tell you what, you got a lot of guys coming up on that defense, like Bradbury and Slay, that you have to replace. And God knows you're probably going to move off of Josh Sweat next year as well. You trust Hurts without Brown. That's the biggest dilemma. That's also another consideration. Do you think that Jalen Hurts can move the sticks? Do you think that he can move the sticks without A.J. Brown? I don't know. It's another great conversation. Denver has no second pick. Hey, Dave, do they have a third? Third pick, man. Third round to give up AJ and a 22? Third round? Man, that seems to be, if I'm Denver, not enough. I'd want more than that. Dave, if I'm Denver, listen, he's a coveted player now. It's not just the Eagles that are inquiring about him. Everybody knows in the league right now. Look, do I think the Philadelphia Eagles aren't the only team contacting the Denver Broncos on his availability? Just like you know what's crazy when I say something like this? Watch this. How many people believe that only the New England Patriots have called Philadelphia for the availability of A.J. Brown? How many people believe that? A 1, 3, and a 5? And A.J.? Too deep. If I'm the Eagles, I'm not doing that. Bills are calling? Out of the conference too, right, senor? Out of the conference too, right? Get him out of the conference? Probably. I don't know that. Well, how many people believe that multiple teams are contacting the Broncos for Surtain when they know the quarterback is a need in Denver? Use your common sense. Twiz goes like this. Howie said no. Howie never says no. Howie doesn't say no. If you never say no to improve your team. Nobody on the planet is untradeable except the guy 15 in Kansas City. That's it. It's like trying to trade for LeBron in his prime or Jordan in his prime. There's certain guys that are untradeable. You don't have a guy on your football team that's untradeable. Nor do the Cowboys. Nor do the Jets. There's very few teams that have guys on it that are untradeable. Anybody's trade. Dude, so get this. Forte goes like this. Mulata's untradeable. Really? Well, I'll tell you what, if I gave you a 1 and a 2 for Jordan Mulata, I think Howie'd listen. General managers don't shut down trades. They table them. Don't you guys understand how general managers don't go, no, that'll never happen? No, that's a media comment. Anytime you see a media person go, the Eagles said he's not available, that is not true. Maybe on April 19th he's not. Here, let me give you the greatest drafter and talent evaluator of all time as a head coach, Jimmy Johnson, and his comments. And even Bill Belichick says this because he learned it from Jimmy. You are in the land of lies right now. The last 12 hours before the draft is when reality hits. And you've got to put your chips and your chess pieces and your checker pieces on the board. You're in the land of lies right now. So when you hear media people going, I'll never trade, not the case. There you go, Big Pickin'. It's rat poison time. Okay? Why in the world Chiefs trading Mahomes when he's won back-to-back Super Bowl MVPs? Here, I'll tell you, Forte brings a great. Brian, how about this one? Forte brings up a comment there. Chiefs trading Montana or Chiefs trading Mahomes. Doesn't that look stupid? Doesn't that look stupid? Well, in that 30 for 30, Bill Walsh, the agent for John Elway and for, what was his name? In that 30 for 30, Elway to Marino. It was a great, great show. Joe Montana had just won his second Super Bowl. Elway came up in the draft. And Denver had called the Niners. John's from the Bay Area. Dad coached at Stanford. Here, I'm going to watch this. Bill Walsh was going to trade Joe Montana after winning 2 Super Bowls to Denver for the rights to John Elway. Marvin Demoff, thank you, Kyle. Marvin Demoff, his agent, said this. And at the last second, Bill Walsh went like this. Look at this. Slagger says it's wrong. Go watch the doc. How many people watched that documentary and heard Marvin Demoff say he was going to trade Joe Montana to Denver for John Elway's rights? And at the last second, he pulled back. He had just won 2 Super Bowls. And Walsh at the last second said, I think Montana still got more Super Bowls. And he was right to stick with Joe. See how you got people in here calling me a liar on that? I'm here to help you. That's a fact. Would the Chiefs ever trade Patrick Mahomes? Anybody's tradable. Even the great Joe Montana. In his prime. I mean, okay, so I got it. Bear retired because of trade with San Francisco. That was, hey, I'm just saying, anybody in the league is tradable for the right deal. See, those players are assets. This has nothing to do with skill. No, but it becomes value, Bob. It's about value. Okay? It's like, look at here. AJ's a high volume player. I'm not handing him away. I'd trade Devontae Smith before I do that. I'm not handing that guy, even with all the bullshit we deal with him. And his moaning and his crying. I'm not giving A.J. Brown away unless it's a player that can help my football. A.J. Brown's not going to help you win a Super Bowl. Patrick Surtain is. Why is that? Because no matter how many yards he gets, no matter how many catches he gets, it hasn't resulted in 2 years. You actually went backwards last year. Tell me something this. If the coordinating was so awful, why did A.J. Brown have a career year? Why did Devontae Smith have a career year? Why did DeAndre Swift have a career year? How come every skill set guy in your offensive huddle had a career year except the quarterback? Why is that? Because the defense sucked. That's why Patrick Surtain helps you. And A.J. Brown doesn't. Exactly. You are, dude, so Brian Johnson, the coordinator that gets all the heat for, gave every single position player on your football team a career individual year, and it resulted in a 1-7 finish. How can that be possible? How can that be possible? By the way, that's, again, not an opinion. Devontae career year. Smith career year. Swift career year. Mulata career year. You just got an extension because of it. How in the world is that on Brian Johnson for delivering career? Do you realize that Brian Johnson is partly responsible for the contract extension Devontae Smith just got? How's that possible? And he was the problem? Maybe it was your defense and your quarterback. And you were reliant on one guy. How about that? Or is that too much again for all of you that are watching this, working with me? Is that too difficult to take? I mean, couldn't have been that awful. Couldn't have been that awful. What he said, Junior, right? It was simple offense that became predictable. Okay. It was an offense, Prince, that became predictable because you had two targets. That's going to change. So hey, Prince, let's do this. So when A.J. Brown is going to be told that he is not going to get the targets that he had in the last 2 years, how much do you think him kicking his feet up right now a little bit, some of you could think it's a nothing burger. Well, how about this? Prince, figure this out. Do you think targets are going to be taken away from him because of the acquisition and signing of Saquon Barkley? Do you think he gets less targets? And they're going to try to spread it around more. Do you think Barkley, you're paying him $10 million. You're going to try to get him involved in the game plan, are you not? Right? Okay. That's less targets. That's less money in his eyes. You just paid a receiver, albeit you're not paying him for 3 years, but he's got a $96 million deal. You're not just not going to feed him. How do you think he'll act? Not getting his allotment of food. Look at how he's acting now. No, they spread the ball when they no, they spread the ball when they got him that. So you think AJ's going to be okay with that? With a couple games, maybe he has only 4 targets. They'll be fine? This guy's in the offseason acting like an asshole for no reason. Wait till the end season comes when he has a goose egg up there one game with no throws to him or 2 throws to him. You wait. When when Devontae Smith has 142 yards and Saquon, hey, let me ask you this one. Hey, Prince, how about this one? You think A.J. Brown would be okay with this kind of game? Eagles win 31-10 versus the Cowboys. Devontae Smith has 10 catches for 138 yards. Barkley goes for 18 carries from 95 yards, 7 catches for 60. And A.J. Brown has 4 catches for 38 yards. You think he is okay with that? You think he'll be okay with that? Melvin goes, who cares? He does. .304. Still pissed off at Mozzie Smith. I hope Philly drafts Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He stinks. I remember AJ bitching when we won 38-7 in 22. No, that's every diva receiver. Yeah. Right. All the high money guys, right? Hey, Prince. Prince says something right there. Xander, if we could put Prince's up here, this last one. That's a good one. I like it. I like that one. No, that's every diva receiver they have to make an impact in the game for them to feel fulfilled. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, and Justin Jefferson. All have this in common. Big contract guys with no future in Super Bowls. What's the point? What's the point? Yeah. What's the point? If anyone should be Sills, I guarantee when AJ does not get his targets, he's going to throw his helmet. He's throwing his helmet now in a way. Can you imagine? Get this. Can I here? You're AJ Brown. You make $25 million a year. You're an elite wide receiver. And you saw a guy just get money for $25 million, but you know the kid's not getting the money, Devontae Smith, for 3 years. New England Patriots call the Eagles up. They call the Eagles up. The agent and the player get wind of it. You should take that as a merit badge, not as something sinister like the Eagles are doing something behind his back. People inquire about great players all the time. You don't think, hey, 304, you don't think that there's teams out there knowing full well you're not signing a quarterback for $60 million and a wide receiver for 30 and an edge rusher for 30. One of those guys is out. Teams are calling about one of those 3 guys. You know, it wouldn't shock me if the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots have contacted the Dallas Cowboys in the pursuit of CeeDee Lamb. Would it? If you're calling for AJ, why wouldn't you call for a guy's contract that's up? But hey, it's no indictment on CeeDee Lamb. Good players, people ask about availability. I don't know. I mean, you do you really know how the league works? AJ Brown, here, I'll make a prediction to you. Maniac, I'll make a prediction to you. AJ Brown, yeah, no, hey, I'm not saying that salary cap hit is not okay. No, AJ Brown, he's okay. I like the question. AJ Brown contract details, 2024 cap hit 43. Wow. How will the Eagles absorb? You would have to do exactly how they signed. Who was that DB slagger that the Eagles signed? Kevin Byard. You remember Kevin Byard had a pretty big cap hit when he was at Tennessee. There was a restructuring of his contract to bring that number down. Do you remember that? Hey, Barb, do you guys remember that? They restructured that so that the cap hit wouldn't be as high so that they could move him. As a matter of fact, that move helped the Eagles move off him by just cutting him. Okay? They would have to extend him probably before they moved him. Hey, or when you trade him, yeah, I think you'd have to, you're right, Prince. I think you would have to fix that before you moved them. Because that's what they did on Kevin Byard's deal. I think they acquired it, restructured it. So the Broncos, and then I think it had less money on the Eagle hit, and that's why they were able to move off him. Melvin Gilmore goes, he's not going anywhere. Why are teams calling for him? What would make you think that the Philadelphia Eagle wide receiver was available? Do you think they're calling Kansas City up? How about this? Get this. Here's Melvin. How many people believe that north of 20 teams? Sandra, you too. How many people believe that north of 20 teams have called the Minnesota Vikings in the availability of Justin Jefferson? 25 of the 32? The Bills? The Cowboys? You move off of Aiyuk? Niners? Rams? Melvin goes, he's happy where he's at with no quarterback. Right. And J.J. McCarthy coming in. Sure. You'll rue the day you're not having Kirk Cousins throw you the ball. He is on a historic pace because of Kirk Cousins getting him the football. He is. Look at here's another guy, Melvin, that doesn't know. No wide receiver in pro football history has started his career out with more yards than Justin Jefferson. Well, Melvin, who's his quarterback? Who was his quarterback? Was it Tom Brady? Was it Patrick Mahomes? Wasn't Peyton Manning? I mean, somebody threw him the ball. Right? Harrison Jr. is the next Justin Jefferson. You know, he went to Ohio State, so I'm not going to dismiss that take. OBJ was like that too with Eli. Then without Eli, OBJ became irrelevant. Great take. Great take, Barb. Great take. Great take. Isn't it funny, Barb? Eli Manning won Super Bowls with, what's that guy's name? David Tyree. And he then won a Super Bowl with Odell Beckham Jr. Gee, I wonder why. He wins a Super Bowl with David Tyree and not Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah, but wait. Odell Beckham Jr. is better. Didn't result in shit. I mean, and when they signed him to that $100 deal, 6 months later, they dealt him to Cleveland because they knew they made a mistake. They won with Plaxico. Okay. Plaxico was moved by the Steelers. Yeah. Great. Plaxico and David Tyree. And no $20 million Odell Beckham. I like Plaxico too, man. Outside of shooting himself in the leg at a bar, guy was a good ball player. I don't know about decision making. Carrying a pistola when you're at a strip club and going to the executive lounge with a pistol in your pants. There's only one pistol in my pants I want when I'm in the executive lounge at a strip club, and it ain't a Glock. That ain't what I'm looking for. Okay? That's not what I'm looking for, dude. Hey, Plaxico, what kind of gun do you have in the executive lounge? I got the Big Sills tripod working. Sorry, Barb. Sorry, Aunt Betty. All right. Oh, I can't wait to do this one. This one's gonna, hey, believe me, this is gonna be an interesting one here. I want to show you the difference here. I had to do some homework here. Thank you very much. Hey, Brian. So the argument, and this is where Prince will go the other way on me here, and all you guys will go the way. Thank you, Melvin. Appreciate it, dog. And you know who else will? Probably New Jersey Maniac. All of you guys will probably do this. So my famous conversation with all you Eagle fans is about Josh Allen. Saw Josh Allen talking today, and he was saying that how he's looking forward to developing a lot of the young players on his team. And I was curious because I was looking at, Josh Allen right now. So let me ask you this. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, who has a better year this coming season? I'm not even going to ask you who the better quarterback is because you guys know who I think. Forte Hurts. Allen couldn't beat our garbage defense. Okay. Bills won't make the playoffs. Prince, hopefully Jalen. Let's take a look at that. Here we go. And I'm going to exclude the quarterbacks. Let's take a look at what Josh Allen's had to work with the last 2 years. Running back, James Cook versus Saquon Barkley now. Who gets the check mark in that box? Eagles? Cook's not bad either. Who gets the check mark? Barkley or James Cook? You think Cook's better than Barkley? Let's take a look at what Josh Allen has and what Jalen Hurts has. Barkley. Barkley all the way. Barkley. Josh Allen. Khalil Shakur, wide receiver. You have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown? A.J. Brown. Curtis Samuel is wide receiver 2. You have Devontae Smith. Devontae? 2. This might be interesting. Dalton Kincaid versus Dallas Goedert. Who would you take? Who would you take? Dalton Kincaid or Dallas Goedert? So unfortunately, Allen will be more successful if he develops the young. You know what? Twist says wash. I'm going to go with Flexen, Barb, and Nick. And I like what Nick said too. Kincaid because of health. Good one too. Shepard, how many game cells? Dallas, Brian. I'm actually going to go with Kincaid. Left tackle, Jordan Mailata. Dion Dawkins. Mailata? Mailata versus Dion Dawkins. Jordan Mailata. I agree, Flexen. Left guard, David Edwards versus Landon Dickerson. Dickerson, highest paid guard in the league. Dickerson? Okay. This probably goes to Buffalo. Connor McGovern versus Cam Jurgens, or is that a push? Steve, Landon Dickerson's not better than Zach Martin. Not yet. And the guy and Indy, he's not. Cam Jurgens? Push? Connor? Connor's a pretty good player. I like the push. So we'll go push there. Osiris Torrance versus Steen. That's Buffalo. You really don't know what Steen is. I know what Torrance is. He's not bad. Right tackle, Lane Johnson. Spencer Brown. Lane. So 6 of the 11 positions. And this is really the last 2 years. Even with Diggs, he didn't play a ton last year. Pretty much the same dudes. Buffalo has only had 2 advantages. Dalton Kincaid by a smidge over Goddard only because of health and because of right guard. And the only reason that is because you moved off of Isaac Seumalo. At the end of the day, this guy, Jalen Hurts, has more players and more power at every position than any quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, and he had this talent last year. You guys want to blame Brian Johnson. Once again, coin flip. Look at Joshua. Joshua thinks the Bills have the same talent that the Eagles have, and it's a coin flip. It's a coin flip. The Bills dismantled the team. No. They didn't dismantle the offense. They dismantled the defense. The Bills dismantled the team. You want to compare, the Bills' advantage was the defense, which then all along, Prince, they didn't dismantle the offense. They just got rid of Diggs. He's no loss. Seals, can we do this with the Niners? We will. This is what Josh Allen's been working with the last 2 years and winning 13 games every year. And the Buffalo Bills are still going to be a contender. They don't have to add pieces you have the advantage everywhere. 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 You couldn't even score 10 points against the Bucs with that offense and all those check marks. Defense was so bad. Where was your boy A.J. Brown? That's right. He was sucking on a Mai Tai in Atlantic City. I forgot. Diva guy. Well, talk to me about how teams are built. $48 million. That guy's worth every penny. You paying a guy $50 million for all these advantages? The Eagles don't believe in your quarterback, or they wouldn't be spending as much money on that side of the ball as they are. And that's why they can't move off A.J. Brown, because he couldn't move the sticks without him. You don't think that guy can move the sticks without A.J. Brown? Bills think they can. At least the Bills have the bag to do it. Sills, I think you might have also just proven is that Howie does not need to invest so much in the O-line. Well, I don't know, man. I like the O-line. I do. I like the O-line. I do. Get this. With that roster that the Bills have, I don't give a shit what his cap hit is. Jalen Hurts is overpaid, and his cap hit is still stupid because he can't deliver. At least this guy's playing with nobody. At least his value is high. You're trying to tell me you don't think Josh Allen has a higher value than Jalen Hurts does when you got all of these advantages on offense and all the money you have spent? Don't lie to yourselves. You could spend $100 million on Josh Allen and it'd be worth it. You spend $100 million on 3 players. Think about that. And, when you look at the rosters, it's quite remarkable that he's won 4 straight AFC East championships. And he goes against the best quarterback in the AFC. It's like being Phil Mickelson right now. Isn't it crazy? It's like being Phil Mickelson. Well, you lost to Tiger. Okay. Yeah, I guess. At least you're losing to Mahomes in the playoffs. Not losing to Baker Mayfield. Funny. This has been one of the best off seasons I've ever had when it comes to covering a football team like this Eagle team. Especially the last 24 hours, it's been remarkable. And it's been funny watching this guy and AJ cry for 24 hours and go through all the charades. I mean, it's been great. This is good stuff before the draft, too. This is great stuff before the draft. Great stuff. Great stuff. Absolutely phenomenal. Where is that sheet? I see some folks are coming back in here. So I have to reiterate here, like we did in our open. The last 24 hours since, or like actually, how many days ago was it, Xander, that Devontae signed as a contract extension? Brother Hannibal, the Eagles have reportedly shut down every team trying to trade. Sure they have. No general manager shuts down anything, Brother Hannibal. That's not how it works. That's a stupid media comment. I didn't know they were open. Funny, I guess the Patriots didn't get the message. I guess the Patriots didn't get the message. Thank you, Kyle. It's been 4 days since the deal. And since we got new people back in here, here's what's happened with A.J. Owens. Devontae gets a new deal. What did we say? Crying would start. All the moaning and crying would start. 3 days later, A.J. Owens changes all of his stuff to the Patriot stuff. Then he comes out with that lame-ass excuse yesterday. Well, I love the Patriots. I love them. They're my friends. Then the Patriots and NBC Boston and the Eagles and Albert Breer confirmed that the Patriots contacted the Eagles. Confirmation. This is not an opinion, and it's not conspiracy or theory. It's been confirmed by Mike Florio, Albert Breer, everyone, that the New England Patriots contacted the Eagles about his availability. Tells you how much he loves Brady and this and that. Puts a post up. I didn't know I had to. Then, this morning, he deletes it. Because it was confirmed. All in 24 hours. See. Changes. The team, the A.J. Owens' team found out the Patriots called. He got butthurt over it because he was a little nervous because Devontae's new contract. So he thought he would kick up some dust to where everyone knows what's going on and that he might not be a little happy. He put something out there, starts following Patriot players. This morning, he deletes that stupid-ass lie that he had yesterday. And this was all made up. Wasn't made up. This was all shit he did. This is all shit he did. What? Gossip? That's not gossip. Those are things he did, dude. Patriots confirmed themselves. They reached out to the Eagles. That's not gossip. That's fact. That's not. On the same day, he starts following Patriot players and goes into this Patriot diatribe. And then this morning, he deleted it. That's not conspiracy. These are his actions. These are his actions. Hey, Melvin, what's the conspiracy? What's the lie I just said? Can you tell me? What have I said that I made up here? He is TMZ. I love the birds, but I'm telling you, all this shit with AJ is just beginning of a new effing drama, and it will split the locker room for sure. You mean like it did last year, Master Chief? It split the locker room so bad he didn't even show up for the game in support of his teammates. He's a bad teammate. He's a bad teammate. Devontae's an excellent teammate. Boy, would I like to play with that guy. That's a teammate. AJ Brown's an awful teammate. Him and Slay. Hey, I played good. Those guys suck. You got a bunch of guys on that team. Like, there's your problem. That's a reflection of your coach and the mercenaries that you sign. Do you notice all the good players that you guys have had with leadership have been players you drafted? Think about that for a second, Barb. All the players you drafted were all your leaders. Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. All those guys that the Eagles had drafted felt an entitlement to play for the city, the fans, respect the logo, and respect the fan base. All the mercenaries you hire make comments like this. And by the way, is this made up? Darius Slay came out and said, hey, this ain't on me, man. I'm playing great. Everyone else sucks. He didn't say that? Or am I making that up? I made that up? Every single one of your guys that you drafted are legendary leaders. A.J. Brown's an outsider. Darius Slay's an outsider. Dude, you know a guy I like, too bad he had a shitty year, was James Bradbury. He don't say anything. He don't say anything. Can you imagine going through a meltdown? I think this is a reflection of the lack of head. Hey, Dallas, hate to say this, 304. This is why you have issues in your locker room. You know why? You have no leadership in your locker room. Brian, don't ever let the facts get in the way of it being true for people to try to manipulate it into being a lie. And that it's somehow the deliverer of the information's fault. You ever notice that? When you point things out to people, Xander and I were talking about this. When you point things out to people that they don't want to face or hear, they, more than that, what do? They deflect. Because that's all they can do. Because they have no, like, get this. Howie Roseman in that NFL pre-draft press conference, it was 39 minutes of deflecting. Somebody asked him a decent question. He took a shit on him. Thank you, Powell. Sills, was Jenkins the only one Eagle didn't draft that was a leader? Malcolm Jenkins was a great football player. Kyle, man, that guy loved and he loved playing in Philly too. He surely did. He loved playing in Philly. Okay, he did, man. Bob says, Sills, the current situation will determine how long a leader Hurts is. The year that Hurts needs to be comfortable being the franchise, training wheels are off. I mean, I pointed it out to you, man. I mean, Josh Allen has a lot of lifting to do by himself. No question. Hey, God forbid that guy wins 13, 12 games this year. 12 or 13 games with that. The conversation with Hurts and him, you put that to rest. If Hurts comes shot, if he comes anything short of the NFC title game, He should be fired. He should be fired. I'm not going into another year with that. Hey, Dirty D, Hurts isn't trash. Nope, I'm not saying that. But I'm not paying a guy that. I'm not paying Dak that. And who would have thunk it? Dak Prescott ain't worth $60 million. Hurts ain't worth $50 million. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Same question to you, Sills. Where's the report that AJ is upset about the money? Well, I don't know how you think the NFL works, my friend. But the NFL works just like this. And it's very simple. Every guy is sitting around waiting for the next contract to fold or fall. Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Trevor Lawrence's deal they're working on. Trevor Lawrence is going to make more than Hurts. Kyler Murray made more than Patrick Mahomes when he signed his deal. I mean, it's the next guy up. And if you're a guy on a team, okay, here, let's do this too. Report? What report? Who said there's a report? I'm saying he's pissed off about the money, doing more work than the guy that you just gave $25 million to. And you know why I know that? Look at his childish behavior the last 24 hours. Pull up the report. I'll just pull up his childish behavior. It's unbecoming of an NFL leader, which he ain't. The report also is that the Patriots confirmed calling the Eagles on his availability. And by the way, Flexen, thank you. I never said it was a report that he was upset with his money. Made up once again. I never said there's a report he was upset with his money. You'll have to go back and listen to the show because that's never been said. I said that. I said that actually. James, didn't you post that? If you give Devontae Smith. No. Here's my opinion. I said that about a week ago. That if you sign Devontae Smith to a contract extension, you're going to see this guy act like a bitch. And here it is. I really love the Patriots. God, I went back to look for that tweet, Xander, that you posted. Funny, I couldn't find it on AJ Owens' Twitter page. What happened to it? Hey, how come I couldn't find that stupid ass explanation? No. Here. This was been deleted here. Hang on here. He says we made it up. Hold on here. I didn't make this up. I saved it. We tweeted it. Shit. What are you talking about? Hold on. Where is that thing that we had here? Here it is. Right here. And here we go. Yeah, up there. Yeah. What happened to this? I didn't know that it would be a very upsetting. Hey, there we go. He deleted that today. What happened to it? What happened to that? Oh, I like that, Xander. What happened to that thing? You know what everyone was saying too? Xander, you know what everyone was saying in here yesterday? See, he shut you up. After it was confirmed that the Patriots and Albert Breer and Mike Florio and the Patriots themselves confirmed that they had reached out to the Eagles when it came to inquiring about his availability, that's when he deleted it. Because he was caught in a lie. He was caught in a lie. He was caught in a lie. Oh my God. This has been one of the funnest weeks prior to a draft I've ever seen. Unbelievable. 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 How can they play in a 34 they couldn't play in a 43? Pow. Right. Prince, Sills, I understand your point. While Jalen had high interceptions year, you consider it a bad year, whereas Josh was consistently had high interceptions every year. Yeah, he wins 13 games every year, and he's constantly winning the division. And he has to go against better quarterbacks and better coaches in the AFC. And on top of that, I mean, you're right. Imagine if he pulled back the interceptions, what he would do. Jalen Hurts upped his tick in attempts, and his interceptions went up, and his win total went down. And that one, Josh Allen is not having a 1-7 stretch. Actually, Josh Allen went on a stretch run at the end of the year where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 10, they lost 2 games. That you're not going to see. And plus, the talent he had in his offense was far inferior to the one that Jalen Hurts had. Senor goes false. So get this. That's a great comment there. He says false. Josh Allen did not go against better quarterbacks in the AFC. I said AFC, guy. You said AFC East. And let's just say this. I said AFC. I said he won 4 AFC East crowns. Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, Tagovailoa. Do you want me to continue? Here's who you go against. Dak, Goff, Stafford, Purdy, here, let's just do this. Dak Prescott, if you were to rank the quarterbacks and put him in the NFC, he'd be a 12th. There's no quarterback in the NFC that would be in the top 10 versus the AFC quarterbacks. None. When I see this thing, didn't we beat Buffalo? So you're telling me Tony Eason had a winning record versus Dan Marino. You think Tony Eason is a better quarterback than Dan Marino because Dan Marino didn't have a winning record versus Tony No, it was the O'Brien kid from the Jets. You think O'Brien, that quarterback the Jets in the 80s, was a better quarterback than and get this. This guy has no excuses. Kenny O'Brien. Get this, Barb. With their stupid philosophy, they think Kenny O'Brien is a better quarterback than Dan Marino. So then that means this. Brock Purdy is superior than Hurts. And so is Garoppolo. got a better postseason record. Both went to Super Bowls. What's your argument there? What's your argument there? Here, I'll do this. Quarterbacks with better records in the NFC and postseason play. Brock Purdy, by far. Jared Goff, by far. That guy's been to two NFC title games. Two different franchises. Hurts was in a Super Bowl. So was Purdy and Garoppolo. And they got better records than 2 and 3 Hurts. Are you really going to use that metric? Okay. By that philosophy, Jimmy Garoppolo, 5 and 2 in the postseason, and Brock Purdy, what is it? 1 and 1, then 3 and he's 4 and 2, and you're 2 and 3. By your philosophy, Purdy and Garoppolo are better. Hurts has won an NFC. So did Garoppolo and Purdy. Shit, Goff's won 2 or 1 NFC championship. Been to a Super Bowl too? Is that hey, I could pick up some of the, so you're telling me Joe Flacco's got a better record? Mark Sanchez has a better record than Hurts. Is he better? I would take Jalen Hurts over Mark Sanchez, but I got to go by your litmus test and your metric. Sanchez is better. Just, I got to take it. Have I taken the time out yet? Okay. Have I don't even know if this has been too much fun on this Friday. Xander goes, no, you lunatic. Hey, man. Hey, I'm sorry. I am having too much fun with this head case known as AJ Owens. This is just too much fun. I do want to revisit the Surtain potential trade. And I want to go back over that again, but I mean, dude, this is like a crime sheet with this guy. I woke up, I changed my profile. I woke up, I told everybody how much I love Tom Brady. I made it so much so I put him in my Twitter and in my IG. What man does that? By the way, what man would put another man's face in his Twitter or IG box? Jesus criminy. But no, Madon. I mean, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a letter to everyone in a soliloquy. This is why I posted this and why I posted that, why I posted this. Then you delete it this morning when you got found out to be a liar. Oh, man. Hey, Brian, you got quite a group going there, man. Woo. One Way Slay. That's his new name. One Way Slay and AJ Owens. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and certainly the easiest when you're watching the NBA. And the NBA playoffs are almost here, and you can win money making picks. What are you waiting for? Sign up on UnderdogFantasy.com and use the promo code WIN. An Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN. Get ready for the NBA and get ready for the NBA playoffs. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN.
Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer 3 major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Mike Little was a union construction worker who was badly injured when he suffered a horrific fall because of someone's negligence. His life would change forever.
It was just a real downward spiral with everything. Everything you do, and you're sitting home by yourself all day. You can't go out because you can't drive, you can't walk well. It was just a horrible situation.
Call Brian Fritz at the Fritz and Beyond Cooley Law Firm at 215-548-2222.
EAGLES, Eagles.
Oh, boy. You know what's crazy, too, also about the media and how they're treating Bill Belichick? Because they treated you like shit and you couldn't take it. You know what you're doing now? You're taking pot shots at the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League because he treated those wormy people in the media like crap. So now what they think they could do is take a shit on the greatest coach of all time. I pointed out to you, every single great coach had a great quarterback, or he wouldn't be a great coach. You have to have the Jimmies and Joes, no matter how good a coach you are. But because they like to do and deflect, and because they don't like to be treated poorly, what they'll do is, like Seth Wickersham and all these other assholes, they'll take shots at a guy that they wrote books on. At the beginning, one of those guys wrote a book that says, if the New England Patriots hire Bill Belichick, it'll be the worst hire in the history of the NFL. There was a book that was written on that. Well, 9 championships later and 6 Super Bowl titles, that turned out to be dumb. So now they're trying to get their pound of flesh on you. And now they're trying to make up all these erroneous stories on the greatest coach that's ever lived. His accomplishments speak for themselves. There's nothing you can say or do to dismiss him. Nothing. Zero. You have no ammunition on Bill Belichick. Nothing. Deflategate, Spygate, Mediagate, all of that made up. Who cares? Who cares? All Brady, lies. You just guys got through telling me, hey, Sileo, it was the defense that fell apart. That's why Jalen sucked. Well, Brady had to have a defense too, didn't he? Or no? Or is it that your guy can't carry a team? Pick one. You can't dissect and make it fit your narrative. Which is it? I mean, which is it? Well, Sills, the defense was terrible. Well, so was Jalen's. So you're telling me Jalen would have won more if the defense was better. Well, Bill Belichick built the New England Patriot defense. It's stupid. All the nonsense around AJ has generated calls from teams who believe the door might be open. That is so ridiculous. Do you actually believe that a general manager in New England, Elliot Wolf, is listening to Bob in Secaucus or somewhere in Cherry Hill or South Philly bitching about phone calls, and that's why he called? You think more highly of yourself, guy. The general managers know how this works. Wide receivers like A.J. Brown and having them on your team is overrated. I point the facts out, not an opinion. What are you talking about? Name me one of those top 5 wide receivers that are playing in today's NFL. Tyreek Hill, now with his new deal in Miami, didn't have this deal. He was one of the lowest paid wideouts on a rookie deal. They moved him before he made the $30 million. Devontae Adams, the kid in Los Angeles with the Rams, didn't have the deal until he signed after they won the Super Bowl. Every one of these 26-year shit, the only guy that really did the right thing, there's 2 of them. Devontae Smith and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp took a pay cut to stay in Los Angeles. I mean, all those guys who make that money don't deliver and are traded to multiple teams. Get this, Brian, if AJ's overrated, Brian, think about this. He had a career year, the last 2 years in his career. One resulted in a really good year with the Eagles. Last year was an even better year for him. And like I said in the first hour, the more you throw A.J. Brown the ball, the further away you get from a Super Bowl. And that's how it played out. The defense sucked. No shit, because you're paying the wideout. Not only him, you don't spend any money over there. This is not personal with him. It's just not. Those receivers don't deliver. There's no coincidence. Every one of them have been traded multiple times in their prime. Every one of them have been. And the guy who wasn't traded, Kupp, took a pay cut. My twin texted me last night and said he would trade Hurts and A.J. Brown for the 3rd pick. That's crazy. Come on, guy. The best about A.J. is he's always post stuff, deletes it, then claims his account was hacked. He's an idiot. He's an idiot. I mean, really, he's bipolar. Now he's saying his account has been hacked. This has been a week of gold. This has been a week of gold. I'm looking over my shoulder because my daughter's in a semifinal game for the national championship, and they scored. So I'm keeping an eye on it. Oh, I don't think that I'm sorry, Xander. Thank you for keeping it in some kind of chronological order for me, because I'm losing the, the order of all this. I don't think he said that now. That was the last time. Oh, okay. I was just, I'm trying to do my best at following along. This guy would have A.J. Owens would have a hard time staying in the lines in a crayon book. Like he couldn't take his Crayolas out in a crayon book and and use his crayons, those Crayolas. And he couldn't do that. Fake news. No, he did say that. Apologies. Not this time. That's yet to come. That's yet to come. You know what his password is? You know what his password is? Prozac. Hey, what's his football number? What's hey Flexin? What's his football number? What's his Sue? What's his football number? AJ Owens. What is it? It's okay. Prozac #11. Hey, you guys want to hack his Twitter page or X page, whatever it is? It's Prozac #11. What would you do if he was a no-show today? Who's that? What? That must be AJ Brown talking. Again, I need Shohei Ohtani's translator. Prozac always open #11. Come see me #11. I like that. Hey, Brian, this is hilarious. Dr. Phil #Prozac. Holy cow. This is beautiful. Seriously, you could write a sitcom on this guy. You could write a sitcom. Look, man, if you're struggling and you have troubles, you just have to follow AJ Brown. He'll make you feel he'll make you feel great. He'll make you feel great because all your troubles will go away. How would you like to be this guy? Well, I mean, how much money do you make? $25 million. I can't believe people in Philly are kicking his ass. People who swing hammers and put aluminum siding on homes and roof houses and work a trash route or get up every day, do Uber, and go out there and work hard. And you're watching this guy bitch and moan, making $25 million, not giving a shit about being an Eagle. I don't know. What happened to you guys? Not all of you. What happened, man? Dude, Jason Kelce? Phew. Boy, are you going to miss that guy. Man, are you going to miss that guy. Wow. Man. No wonder Terrell Owens had a hard time here in Philly. No wonder he did. Let me ask you this. What actually is different that AJ Brown is doing now than what Owens did? What did Owens do that was so different? What did actually playing on a broken leg? 14 catches in a Super Bowl on a broken leg? You want to know something? I'll take Terrell Owens over that clown any day. You know why? That guy had some infamous injury at the end of the year, and he was in a bar in Atlantic City. Terrell Owens was in a Super Bowl with a broken leg. Who would you want in your huddle? Well, Flexin, if they're acting the same, I'll take the guy playing on a broken leg any day. Wouldn't you? What do you have? 140 yards and 14 catches on a broken leg? That guy didn't even want to be in the Buck game. So you tell me who's more of a diva. I'll tell you something. When I hear Terrell Owens and him talking, that's a scary guy. Terrell Owens, I ain't talking shit to like that. That guy's capable of anything. A.J. Brown's a coward. Owens is capable of anything. Guy plays on a broken leg, and you run that guy out of town, and you throw love parades and afternoon serenading comments and shit around a guy who acts like a baby. You would really take A.J. Brown over Terrell Owens if you had to win a game? If you had to win a game that mattered the most, would you take Terrell Owens or A.J. Brown? Joe, seriously, who would you take? Owens or Brown? If you had to win one ball game. One game. If you had to win a game and you had to have a guy show up. Look at this. LJ says it's a wash with a guy in a broken leg versus a guy who refused to play in a playoff game because of some infamous injury, and he's boxing in Atlantic City that same Sunday. All you need to know. AJ on a slant all day versus a guy on a broken leg all day. Brown's not playing with injury. Owens doing whatever it takes to win. And you ran that guy out of town because you didn't like the way he acted. Because of that soft-ass loser guy that you had in McNabb. Oh, Swaggy, that's awful nice on you on this Friday. Thank you. I'm here, big guy. Only thing is players had less bitch in them versus now. They don't get hit and make more. Swaggy, that's really kind of you. Thank you, my friend. Okay? Hollywood goes, T.O. drops balls too much. You know what's funny? When you look at Terrell Owens, who's the greatest quarterback Terrell Owens ever played with in his Hall of Fame career? Who's the greatest quarterback? He didn't play with Young. He did play with Young. Thank you again, Swaggy. He did play with Young. He did. He did play with Young. McNabb? Okay. He did early on play with Young, and then Young retired because of concussions. Correct. Garcia, Steve Young was only 1 year, 1 or 2 years. He think he played. That's it. I think it was 1 or 2 years, and then Steve Young had to retire. McNabb didn't want to. Shit, McNabb couldn't share the love with Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson's words. Had a problem with him too. Sills, who was the quarterback when Owens was there with the Bengals? He was in Cincinnati? Or are you thinking of Chad Johnson? He was in Cincinnati? Terrell Owens? I forget that. Tony Romo? Now, Carson, I don't believe that. I think that you're thinking of Chad Johnson. I don't think he was in Cincinnati. He may have been. Okay. This dude is an ass and Eagles hater. No, that's a guy that want to hear the truth. Dude, there's many shows that are flag waving. Absolutely. Let me get back to the Patrick Surtain deal here. I thought that was a really great conversation. Dirty D, I think he's kind of crossed him over with Chad Johnson. They both were it was Carson Palmer. Okay, I don't remember him. He in Cincinnati for a minute. Okay. I didn't realize that it was 2010 he played for the Bengals. Okay. I didn't remember that. Surtain is definitely on the table. By the way, the legendary Philly Godfather will be with us as he always is each and every single Friday. That'll be at 5:30 Eastern. Okay? That'll be at 5:30 Eastern. This Patrick Surtain deal, he's available, but it will be up to Sean Payton. Had 983. Not bad. That's not bad in Cincy. Thank you, Manster. I remember him with the Bills. What would you give up for Surtain? Would you give up AJ for him? Draft picks? Quite frankly, if you think about it, here, I want to show you something, how this benefits Sean Payton. Brian, let's look. Follow me here. You trade AJ. Sean, do the 3-team deal. What Debo receiver won a Super Bowl, Surtain will be needed versus the Packers in the playoffs. Excellent, Sean. Excellent. Thank you. Absolutely. Watch this. Okay, now again, if you want to do a straight trade with Denver, I don't think Denver is going to go like this. Well, I'll trade you AJ for the 12th pick when they don't have a quarterback but Jarrett Stidham there. Why would I pay a wide receiver $25 million to have Jarrett Stidham throw him the ball? It's counterproductive on what I'm telling you. Why have a big-time receiver like in Minnesota if you don't have anybody throwing them the ball? Right? So it doesn't make sense. So Denver has to get the quarterback. New England has to get a quarterback and, I think, a player. We're trying to get Patrick Surtain. Now, is there another team? There is. Arizona. Arizona has the 4th pick. The 3 quarterbacks are most likely going to be off the board there. But you really don't have anybody in the building there. Now, do you do this? Instead of Marvin Harrison going to Arizona, you send A.J. Brown to Arizona, where Jonathan Gannon is, with Kyler Murray. And if you're Arizona, think about it for a second. Doesn't Kyler Murray have kind of the skill set that Jalen Hurts has? Doesn't that make for more of a fit in what they're trying to accomplish offensively with A.J. going to Arizona with Kyler Murray? That's the 4th pick. So you trade to Arizona A.J. They send you back. You're gonna for the 4th pick, you send them AJ, and I want Arizona's '27th pick. Then I turn around and I take the 27th pick and the 22nd pick. And I send them to Denver for Patrick Surtain. It's 2 1s. You got multiple first-round picks. And if you don't like a quarterback in the building, you give them multiple picks at filling multiple gaps. And you can wait till next year, even to parlay one of those first-rounders for next year for potentially Shedeur Sanders. You trade with Arizona. Send AJ to Arizona for Kyler Murray. I'd rather have AJ Brown than Marvin Harrison Jr. But again, the deal is Marvin Harrison be on a rookie contract. So there's equity there. You got to think of the equity. But I would tell them, I'll send you AJ Brown to move up to the 4th pick. You got to send me back to 27th also. I'll give you AJ. You give me, and to move up to 4, you give me your 27th pick. That means you have the 22nd pick and the 22nd pick still, and the 22 and 27. You ship that to Denver for Surtain. There's only one guy at the trading deadline that will help your football team win a Super Bowl. He's in Denver. Jarrett Stidham is not going to move the sticks for Denver, and it'll be another losing season in Denver. Sean Payton doesn't have that kind of time. He doesn't have that kind of, he's making $25 million. Eventually, rent's due. Patrick Surtain is on the table. Hey, Roland says Sean Payton's kind of shady. At the end of the day, know this. He said it today in a press conference. Everything's on the table. And we're looking for a quarterback. Shit, you could take the 27th and the 22nd pick, move them to New England, and you can get in the 3-hole there if you're Denver for your quarterback, if you think that highly of Drake May. Denver has to get a quarterback. Get this. I pointed this out to you yesterday. Some of you can't follow along. Roland, think of this. The New England Patriots had the 7th best defense in the NFL, and it resulted in 4 wins. What's the point of having a cornerback on your team right now that's got 2 years of a rookie deal, and the 5th-year option, when for the next 3 years you're not going to have a quarterback in your building? And then in the 3rd year, you're going to have to pay him $25 million. What's the point? I mean, what's the point of that? So what is having a better defense going to do if we only get you 4 wins? You're missing my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. What's the point of having Patrick Surtain on your team, a lockdown corner, if it's only going to result in 4 wins? What's the point of paying that guy? When you can get that guy, put him on the Eagles and win a Super Bowl. You guys, didn't you tell me, Senor, the defense sucked? Then in the 2nd round, you draft Edgerrin Cooper. You have Edgerrin Cooper. You draft an edge rusher. And you have Patrick Surtain. You have Patrick Surtain, Darius Slay, Edgerrin Cooper in linebacker. You draft an edge. All of a sudden, that defense looks different, doesn't it? Doesn't it look different? Because the current structure of you, Senor, Surtain is that good to make a team win a Super Bowl. Senor, it's better than right now. How about this? Anything would be better than what you have in your secondary right now. He is the best cover corner in the National Football League. and you would get him for the next 8 years. Sills, I'll send 24 first and 25th first for Denver. Now, Bob, he doesn't have that kind of time, Sean Payton. He's got to fix this now. And Vic Fangio drafted him. That's his guy. Vic Fangio, that's a Vic Fangio guy. Desmond goes, what do you mean? He's 20. How old is he? How old is Patrick Surtain right now? 24? You got a guy on your team right now that's 32 playing corner for you. Miller, you got a guy playing, he's 32 years old playing corner. Patrick Surtain's 24 years old. Yeah, 8 years. He could be in that spot for you. Yeah, 8 years. You got a guy right now, it's 32 years old. I'll get this. Look at Roland here. Roland, if we can't get Surtain, I'll take DeJean. My God, man, I don't want to take a gamble on anybody at corner. Edge, I might do edge or linebacker. That guy has not hit on any of those positions. I don't trust Roseman picking that position. And if Vic Fangio had anything to do with the selection of Nakobe Dean a couple years ago when he was a consultant, I question his evaluation. I mean, in Vic we trust. Hey, Jalen, what's he won? I love people that go, hey, who would you rather have running your defense? Watch this one. Vic Fangio or Bill Belichick? I can't tell you how many people yesterday when I posed that said, Vic. I'm like, Vic? Bill had a 4-win team with the 7th best defense in the National Football League. How's that even remotely possible? Lorenzo, has Vic ever had a top 5 defense? Has Vic ever led a team to a Super Bowl as a coordinator and won? No. Bill, look at Miller. Bill comes with too much drama. I'll choose Vic. Yeah, that drama must have been so awful in New England, resulting in 6 world championships. What awful drama. 9 Super Bowl appearances in 20 years, which meant they went to the Super Bowl every other year. He doesn't want the drama, Miller. He'll take Vic. I'd rather have Vic than a guy for 20 years led my team to a Super Bowl every other year. Hey, Niner all day. It gets to be exhausting sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? It's exhausting. Let's get this straight. If Sills loves a DB and Roseman takes him, he transforms into a turd. Well, that's what's happened. Name me a defensive back corner that he's drafted that's been a Pro Bowler. Can you? Name me one cornerback that Howie Roseman. Here, that's a great look. Let's see here. It's a great call. Great call. I love it. Now, I know he wasn't responsible from 2000 on because he was more of a cap guy back then. Philadelphia Eagle draft history. Philadelphia Eagle draft history. I love this. That's really a great take. So let's take a look at this. Let's not go back to 20. Let's go back from 17 and see how many corners that football team has drafted. At corner. Since the Super Bowl. Let's go since the Super Bowl. What do you say? Since the Super Bowl, 17. All right. Here we go. Cornerback, Sidney Jones. Rasul Douglas. You didn't even know what to do with him. Old guy's not on your football team anymore. Sidney Jones was a second-round pick, and Rasul Douglas was a third-round pick. They did dick for your team. Avonte Maddox, in 18, could never stay on the field. It's listed DB then. Okay. Here, let's go back here 17, 16. He was involved in 16 because those were he took over a little bit after Chip. So here's the Eagle evaluation. Cornerback, Blake Countess, Eric Rowe. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Since 2000, here are your corners that you have drafted by the Eagles. Let's see here. Sheldon Brown. Michael Lewis. Norman Lejeune. J.R. Reed. Matt Ware. By the way, I'm going off your history, your list, off your website. These are corners. Jeremy Bloom. C.J. Gaddis. Quentin Demps. Kurt Coleman. Curtis Marsh. Jordan Poyer went and had great success other places. Ed Reynolds. Jalen Watkins. You've had dog shit corners that you've drafted. He's been in the building since 2000, right? You hear those names? So you think you're going to go into the draft and that guy's going to land on a gold mine? Do you really believe that? Absolutely. Dog shit after dog shit of players that they've drafted at that position. I mean, and God forbid, I'm not even going to go into the linebackers because it's a cattle cave of awful there. Hey, Andrew, it just says, some of them says DB cornerback, and it's slashed on the, you can look, I just Googled it, the history of the Eagle draft pick. So I went off the website. on what they listed. Roland goes, don't do linebackers. It's embarrassing. So that's what I'm saying to you. You would rather have Vic Fangio and the crew you have right now who has been doing business all the way back to, do you know people in that analytics department and in that personnel department have been in that building, some of them for 18 to 19 years, and they're saying and doing the same draft picks year after year, year after year with the same failure positions. And they're getting away with that by covering with free agency signings, with mercenary signings that don't give a shit about being Eagles, but only getting paid. Hey, Desmond, thank you. Let me ask you something. If you're a free agent, do you care about winning or do you care about getting paid? If you're drafted to the Eagles, I kind of care about both. I kind of care about both. You know what I mean? That's right, Roland. Free agents want to. I don't blame them because your career is teetering in a way. Remember something with Bradbury. Hey, Flexen, remember something with Bradbury. He got cut. Howie was so desperate for corner, he gave a contract extension to a New York Giant that was cut after he had a good year. And didn't think that was a one-year wonder too. Bradbury went from get this, think about how desperate the Eagles are at corner. Xander, think of this. The New York Giants cut him 1 year. The next year he has a good year. Howie extends him and pays him $14 million. Wow. You wouldn't want to see him put 2 years in a row together? But because they were so desperate and signed those one-year contracts, they had to. They had to do that. Can't let him walk out the building. How do we know? Well, he shit the bed. He was terrible last year. He went back to being New York Giant cut. You went from a guy who was waived 18 months earlier to giving him $14 million and a 3-year contract, and you can't move him with cap hits in hell. That's how desperate you are at corner. Why in the world would you let that guy loose in the NFL draft at corner and not go and do what Xander said and sign the sure thing? It helps your job security. Bill hired Patricia as an OC at one point. Desmond, so Bill could do whatever he wants. So 797,000 moves were correct. 29 were not. I'll take that batting average. Bill's coordinators suck as head coaches. Bill doesn't hire assistant coaches to be head coaches. Only in Philadelphia do guys aspire to be head coaches. Bill hires coordinators. Jimmy Johnson's coordinators didn't turn out to be great head coaches either. If you were a great head coach, how come he was not a great mentor? Because Bill Belichick doesn't hire guys he hires guys to develop wide receivers and quarterbacks. He's not trying to develop you into being a head coach. He's trying to get the best out of you. Again, Senor, when you hire a coach, you're not using the players to further your career. You're there to further their career. My money's invested in the players, not the coach. It's your job to do whatever it takes to get the best out of the player, not use the player for you to get to your next job. And that's why I think Shane Steichen's a heck of a coach, because Shane Steichen did the same thing he's doing for Anthony Richardson, and he's going to, that he did for Jalen Hurts. You can see it. Dude, That Colts team, I was stunned how good he was. I was stunned how good he was. Bill can coach. Bill just can't groom coaches. DB, I completely 1,000% agree with that. I 1,000%. Okay? 1,000%. Howie only gets the final say on draft picks and Dan's conspiracy theory. You see what that guy said? No, he said it at the press conference. Nick Sirianni said it. I didn't say it. It's not theory. Nick said these exact words. The work that Howie Roseman does and the evaluation that Howie Roseman puts into it, all of his people and all the hard work, when those guys, and he makes the final decision on players that we draft, you know there was a lot of due diligence that went into it. That's an exact wording of what Howie Roseman does and what Nick Sirianni said. Your head football coach, those are his words, not my words. Am I right, guys? That was at the fireside chat they had. That's exactly what Nick said. It's not a conspiracy, dude. Howie has final call. Nick said it. I didn't say it. Shouldn't great leaders breed other great leaders? If I had to have a leader on my football team, I'd rather it be my players than my assistant wide receiver coach. I'm the leader of my football team. Remember, you ever hear this saying? Team's a reflection of your head coach. A business is a reflection of the CEO, not a office manager, not a department head. Every company is defined by the leader of the company, not by an office manager. Shouldn't you? Dude, I'm hiring you because I'm the boss. I think you can help us win. Go do your job. And if you can't, I'll fire you. And by the way, if you do a good job, congratulations for doing your job. So many people want to be patted on the back for doing their gig. It utterly makes no sense. Joe Douglas was here for nothing then. Dude, I don't even know what you're talking about. By the way, that's a good point that this asshole brings up. Isn't it funny that the top capologist guy in the building and his number 2 guy walked out of the building with no gig? With nothing on the horizon. I thought he was walking into another job. He just walked out of the building. All right. Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30 Eastern. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and certainly the easiest when you're watching the NBA. And the NBA playoffs are almost here, and you can win money making picks. What are you waiting for? Sign up on UnderdogFantasy.com and use the promo code WIN. An Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN. Get ready for the NBA and get ready for the NBA playoffs. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN.
Philadelphia fans. We're cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Mike Little was a union construction worker who was badly injured when he suffered a horrific fall because of someone's negligence. His life would change forever.
It was just a real downward spiral with everything. Everything you do, and you're sitting home by yourself all day. You can't go out because you can't drive, you can't walk well. It was just a horrible situation.
Call Brian Fritz at the Fritz & Beyond Cooley Law Firm at 215-548-2222.
EAGLEX, Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. My daughter right now and her team right now are in the D1 championships. They're in the semis right now. And with 25 minutes left in the second half, they're up 14-7 against Cal. It's a big game. They got to go in and win against this team and then beat probably Virginia. Then they'll be in the national championship game. They're the number one team in the country right now. So keeping an eye on that. Hey, Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30 Eastern time. How about this one here? Congratulations, Andre Dillard. You just made some more money. You just signed a contract with the Green Bay Packers. If I were you, I would send roses every single year to Jeff Stoutland until my career was over, thanking him for making me a viable piece in the NFL still that teams want to sign me. Congratulations. When you're a product of Jeff Stoutland, you're going to get opportunities. Okay? I mean, you're going to get opportunities. Thank you, Twiz. Me too, man. It's pretty tight right now. Cal's a good team, too. They got a good rugby program. Appreciate that. I love how the third-party people get paid to spread narratives on a local network. Philadelphia, spread local narratives. No, all you got to do is follow your clown wide receiver. He's pretty funny. No, all you have to do is follow his actions. I mean, he did all that. No one made it up. Narratives? Follow him. I mean, I do have to do this, and I have to say this. Congratulations to Jalen Hurts. We don't do enough of this, I think, in our pathetic business. Donating $200,000 to 10 Philadelphia schools in the area is a cool gesture. He's not doing it, in my opinion, just to do it for publicity. He's doing it because I think he really loves the fact that he can do it. And so I think it doesn't get reported enough that he donated that money. I don't see a lot of other people in their communities doing stuff like that. This goes into the work done kind of stuff where people don't report enough on work done and all the homes that he has built. I got to hand it to Jalen Hurts. Congratulations. It's a great gesture in giving almost $250,000 to 10 local high schools that in today's society, especially these Democrat-run cities that money is needed. Hopefully it gets to the right places. And that's really cool. Absolutely awesome. Okay. I dig when people do great things like that. Here are my coaches before we reset. Here are my coaches that are on the hot seat. The number one guy on the hot seat is Nick Sirianni, Eagles. Number 2 is McCarthy. Number 3 is Matt Eberflus, Chicago. Number 4 is Sean McDermott. I think Josh Allen's the wrong coach for Josh Allen. I think he's the wrong coach for Josh Allen. Absolutely. The wrong coach. Okay? The wrong coach. Let's reset here. Philly Godfather will join us at the bottom of the hour. 6 days to the National Football League draft. Okay? You don't see Dak does that? He might. He might do that. I'm giving Jalen Hurts some kudos. What's wrong with me giving Hurts some love here on that? That's over and above. That's over and above stuff. Okay? That's over and above. McDermott would make a good DC in Philly. Bill Belichick would make a better one. Desmond, it doesn't really, I don't know where that even, okay, I'm sure Dak does. But I'm giving, he is a Sean McDermott protege. Do you guys understand? When we opened the program, isn't it funny, Niner all day? You hear facts, these guys hear criticism. Isn't that crazy? And you even take the criticism that I give your football team. Your football team has to win too. All that talent, all that money. I mean, you know it too. You know I criticize. Hey, Niner, you know what's funny? On my Twitter page, if you go to my Twitter page, do you know how many people wanted to fight me when I said Trey Lance was a bum? It would never pan out. Do you know? Do you know how many people were questioning me on that? Remember, a Niner, right? Go over there and look. I said he's a bum. He'll never play. Can't read defenses. He's not smart enough. He's an athlete, but he's not smart enough. He can't read a defense. That's what, hey, I mean, Dak is great at reading defenses. He does. I mean, Seals, would you rather have Kenny Pickett or Trey Lance? Kenny Pickett. He's a better player. He's a better ball player. I mean, here's my problem with what's going on here. And again, first hour, we kind of kid. We had fun with it, with A.J. Brown. Let's be serious here with it before we get on. And by the way, Philly Godfather's friends with him. Here's my problem. Dude, this team doesn't need drama. This team needs a galvanized leadership in the building. They need to do everything they possibly can. Someone has to step up as a leader. Can you get a leader now in April? Well, if not now, when? This is a team that has had drama since. Does anyone know? Hey, Twiz, what was around the date that Sean Desai was replaced as defensive coordinator. It was around a week 11, I think. What is that? It was around week 11. What month was that? Was that November? Somewhere around Thanksgiving when all that went down? It was the bye week, right? Was that around? No, it was before the bye week. It was before the bye week, right? Something like that. Was after Seattle, right? It was after Seattle, right, Brian? That team has had drama since Seattle of last year. Desai was replaced. Patricia was put in. The players started folding. The team started getting killed in games. He started losing the bum quarterbacks. And everything just rolled downhill. And it fell off the cliff against the Bucs. You lose Kelsey. You lose Fletcher Cox. All of that stuff went on. And now you got a wide receiver that you're paying big money to and counting on to be a big-time leader, and he's not acting like one. You've got question marks on your coach, your quarterback's leadership, and who's going to replace those men. Okay? This is not something you need. There's no leadership in Nick. What do you expect? Steve, why did you keep him then? And again, AJ's actions to me, you know, Philly 500 says it's a nothing thing. It's a nothing thing and a nothing part of the year when it comes to that kind of stuff. Wait till it matters. If he's doing shit now, wait till it matters when pressure's really high. Okay, wait until that has to get up there. And, you're in a position where it does matter. Sills, it was Friday before the Seahawks game. Is that right, Kyle? That right? Okay. You've had drama since then, and the thing has fallen apart since then. Do I have confidence that this thing is going to start out good? No way. I don't care what kind of talent you have. This looks like a dream team disaster waiting to happen. Man. Looky here. I'm not going to put the Philly Godfather in a bad position here with A.J. Brown because he's boys with him. But I am going to lay some things out here to him. I'm going to ask him a question. And like he knows with anybody. And I've said this to people before. Before I bring the Godfather on here, let me bring this up to you here. This is how players are paid in the National Football League. When I'm putting stats up, and you're paid for stats, you're not paid for wins and Super Bowls when you're a wide receiver. You are paid for your numbers. Look at the top wide receivers in the game today. They're not paid for winning. They're paid for numbers. Dan, if you need a picture, call cameraman Nick. If you need to rent a yacht, just call the yachtsman as he watches the Eagles burn. The yachtsman. I like it. Okay, but here, follow me here before I bring him on. Okay, you see a guy in Devontae Smith making $25 million now. You're a better player and you put up more numbers. If that's me, I work for the Godfather and I'm doing a better job than the next guy, and he pays that guy the same amount as me, and he's doing less work. I'm going to have a conversation with him going, hey, This is where I don't think he's wrong. I think the moaning and the bitching and the crying and posting all this stupid shit is bad. But the essence of it is not bad because he's like, I'm the guy. And you think I'm as valuable as him? I'm better than him. Let's bring in the Godfather. Never a short day when it comes to having drama in Phillyville.
Go Birds, baby. Go Birds.
First and foremost, I said this, and we posted this. This was about 4 days, or this was about last week. I said, you signed Devontae Smith to a contract extension, and you give him the same money that A.J. Brown is making. You're going to see this guy kick some dust up. And let me lay it out for you here. So he gets that deal. It was confirmed today and last night that the New England Patriots have contacted the Eagles about the availability of A.J. Brown. The same day he takes his platforms and starts posting New England Patriot stuff and starts following the starting quarterback of the Patriots and Jacoby Brissett and everyone else. Then he brings up that story about Tom Brady's his favorite. Then when he's found out that that's not really true, it was the fact that the Patriots had called the Eagles and Howie Roseman about availability. He deletes it. I mean, if I'm reading this wrong, yesterday Philly 500 told me I'm reading it wrong. Am I reading this wrong?
Now, where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, I don't want to say anything that I know, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And obviously he's going to feel a certain type of way. I mean, how great did the Eagles offense look against the Buccaneers in the playoffs without A.J. Brown? I'm like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So there's either going to be some kind of renegotiation. Something's going on right now. And like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. So don't be shocked if something happens.
How about this? Elliott Wolf, the general manager, also on the same day when he started posting Patriot stuff, said that we're in the market for a big-time wideout. I mean, there's no – in my opinion, how about this? Godfather, don't you agree? I don't think it's just AJ. It could be CeeDee Lamb. It could be even Justin Jefferson in Minnesota because you don't know what's going to go on there with a quarterback. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, especially when all these big-time wide receivers in their prime have already been on multiple teams. Look, Tyreek Hill, multiple teams. Stephon Diggs now on his third team. A.J. Brown on his second team. Devontae Adams on his second team. If these guys are so valuable, why are they moved in their prime?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a shot. Listen, if he isn't in Philly this year, it won't shock me. It happens all the time. It's the NFL. I'm going to the fights at the 2300 Arena tomorrow night. Hopefully he's there, and I'll ask him.
Look at that. Hey, I love it there. All right, let me get on to a new one. So Albert Breer and Mike Florio reported that the New England Patriots former head coach Bill Belichick had a call and a conversation with Howie Roseman about being the head football coach. Or how about this? I'll take that back. It was an introduction, how are you doing, call with Bill Belichick on potentially him taking over the football team. And Bill even himself and his people have confirmed that. Well, it came down to the $25 million and controlled. But I didn't know this, Godfather. I didn't know until I talked to Jimmy and a bunch of people that Roseman and Bill are extremely close.
Well, I didn't know that either.
And that Howie calls him for advice. Now, if Howie was going to turn over personnel, especially defensive personnel, you're going to do it to the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League, aren't you? I mean, how real do you think that report was?
I mean, there's got to be some substance to it. He is, on paper, the greatest coach of all time. But the reality is, how great is his record without Tom Brady? So, and at his age, I mean, I wouldn't have brought him here. I wouldn't have gave him $25 million. I love Bill Belichick. But reality is he hasn't been that good without Tom Brady. And he's a great defensive coach, obviously, with the Giants, over the years. And but as a head coach, again, the reality is his record ain't that great. That's just what the reality is. So even if there is some truth to it, I mean, he's not here. We'll see what happens with Sirianni in the first 5 weeks of the season because it's going to be a tough stretch. And if he survives the first 5-6 weeks, it is what it is.
When last year, by the way, his defense was 7th in the league and they won 4 games. So, I mean, I don't know how that is remarkably possible. But when people say that, and Godfather, I love you here, but let me throw this. What was Chuck Noll's record without Terry Bradshaw? What was Bill Walsh's record without Joe Montana? What was Don Shula's record with Dan Marino? I mean, if you take the great quarterbacks away, there's always a great quarterback that was affixed to a great head coach. No matter who you are, no matter how great you are of a coach, there's always a great quarterback that was affixed to your name. So I think that stuff goes hand in hand. People were saying this to me. Well, the Eagles' defense fell apart. Well, that's Bill's forte. He also drafted Tom Brady. He also developed the offensive players. You want to hear a stat, Godfather? They didn't win one Super Bowl with a player they drafted in the first round on offense at wide receiver or tight end or running back. They were all 2nd, 4th free agents and 6th rounders. I mean, there has to be some skill to that.
Yeah, I mean, to argue that point, you got guys like Dougie P, who won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, went to Jacksonville, made the playoffs. You got guys like Andy Reid, who was competitive, went to the Super Bowl, 4 championships with the Eagles, went to Kansas City, got Mahomes, obviously, and, they've won 3 Super Bowls there. So there's been coaches that have won with different teams, gone to the playoffs with different teams, but without Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's record, has he made the playoffs without him?
I think he did once. It got destroyed by the Bills.
Yeah, so he's a great coach. Is he the greatest of all time? That goes hand in hand with having Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. But at his age, to come back and win another Super Bowl, it's not easy, man. It takes a toll. I mean, he's 72 years old. Is that what he is now?
Yeah, but do you think there's any coincidence that he coached the greatest defensive player in the history of the National Football League and Lawrence Taylor, and the greatest offensive football player in the history of the National Football League and Tom Brady? I mean, and by the way, for the record, Parcells never won a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick being his coordinator.
Yeah, great defensive mind. There's no argument there. Tom Brady, I mean, when did they pick him in the draft? They didn't expect him to be what he was. Yeah, so it's not like, they zoned in on him and Belichick was like, that's my guy. I want him.
He did, to your point, he did miss him 5 times. Everyone always goes, when I say it too, hey, Bill drafted him. You're like, hey, man, you know what? I mean, he did miss himself 5 times on him too. So, I mean,
but listen, Bill's a great coach, but the age to me is just too old. But that's not saying he wouldn't have been a better coach than Sirianni at his age, because he's definitely a much better coach than Sirianni. If Sirianni is even a head coach, so it is.
Big Dom's a better coach than Nick Sirianni. All right, I want to read you something here. And this was an interview that Jalen Hurts did with Sports Illustrated. And I want you to tell me, okay? I want you to tell me what you think here in this, all right? I think as a player, I definitely yearn for the stability and the consistency in Philly. As a quarterback, I yearn for those things in a play caller, a quarterback coach, and because you kind of see how consistency in those areas can breed to excellence. I find myself in the same situation here in Philly I found myself in college in terms of having a consistently revolving door in terms of coordinators and coaches and philosophy. That's Jalen Hurts 2 days ago.
So he didn't mention the fact that he stacked offensively more than any other quarterback in the league, and he still didn't get it done last season. He didn't bring that fact up, or he's blaming these, rent coaches that they're bringing in and out. I mean, it's a combination of both. Let's be honest. Come on, you can't throw those guys under the rug because your numbers were horrible last season, and you had two of the best wide receivers in the league. You had one of the best tight ends. That offense on the Eagles team was, and not to mention one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. That don't help you at all. Come on, man. I mean,
so you think he's making excuses up and setting up his failure for 24?
I don't know if he's doing that. I just don't think he thought it through completely. He's got, you got the pros and cons. All right, you got some running coaches, but look at the team they put out there on the field for you. If you can't win with those guys, you ain't winning with nobody.
All right. I want to show you something here. This is Jalen Hurts versus Josh Allen. Let me look at this here, okay? Now watch this. I'm taking the quarterbacks out of it. James Cook versus Barkley. Who are you taking?
A healthy Barkley is the better player.
Khalil Shakur, wide receiver, or A.J. Brown?
Come on. A.J. Brown's the man.
Curtis Samuel or Devontae Smith?
Samuel's always banged up. You're taking Smith.
Dalton Kincaid or Dallas Goedert?
Nah, you got Goddard.
Deion Dawkins, left tackle, or Jordan Mailata?
I was on the plane with Mailata on the way back from Vegas. He's one of the biggest people I've ever seen in my life. He's big and wide. He's just so strong. He looks like a cartoon character. That's how big he is. Nicest guy in the world, too. Now, you're taking Mailata.
David Edwards or Landon Dickerson?
Dickerson's looking pretty good.
Connor McGovern or King Jurgens? You see where I'm going here. Osiris Torrance, he's not bad, versus whomever, Tyler Steen. I'll give the Bills that one. And the right tackle, Lane Johnson versus Spencer Brown. Dude, how in the world do people in Philly actually believe that Hurts carries a team further than Allen with like you said, the stacked team is in Philly?
And listen, you saw that Bills-Chiefs game last year in the playoffs. The Bills had guys off the Home Depot parking lot playing defense. And if it doesn't go wide right, they might win that game. Josh Allen is so much better than Jalen Hurts. It's not even close. I mean, people got to be honest with themselves.
It's not close.
What can Jalen Hurts do that Josh Allen can't do? And Josh Allen's arm is much, much stronger, much more accurate, and he can run the ball better.
Can you imagine Josh Allen with that talent?
Wow.
They'd win 50 games.
Lights out. Lights out.
Lights out, man. All right. How about this one? So help me out here. Where's the Hassan Reddick extension in New York? Do you know that Howie Roseman said that was a win-win situation for both organizations?
Man, I don't know. You're losing so much production on that defensive line when it comes to sacks. And their biggest issue was, defensive backfield. Now you're going to have some issues on the defensive line moving forward. This team has spent $400 million. And before they spent the $400 million, there were 8 teams that had better odds to win the Super Bowl than they do. Guess what? There's still 8 teams ahead of them that have better odds to win the Super Bowl after they spent the $400 million. There were 3 teams ahead of them that had better odds to win the NFC Conference. There's still 3 teams ahead of them after they spent the $400 million. The Cowboys were slightly favored over them to win the NFC East. Eagles spent $400 million, and the Cowboys are still slightly favored over them to win the NFC East. So they haven't moved the needle. They've spent a ton of money, but the needle hasn't moved on this team.
Absolutely. Do you think Vic Fangio changes the direction of that defense?
I do. I think he's a pretty good defensive coach, but you need the horses. You need the players. And thank God they picked up CJ. Hopefully he hasn't lost a step from that injury last season. He's back to the same CJ. But they've got major issues on defense. And now the biggest issue they have on offense is their center, and that's huge. I mean, it's massive.
Let me get into some, as we're getting ready now. I couldn't believe the Warriors got bounced, but I know you're doing stuff on the NBA here. Do the Sixers beat the Knicks?
Man, that's a toss-up. And
doesn't Embiid look like he's limping around a little bit out there, and like he's not?
I don't think he's dunked the ball yet since he came back. He looks like in the fourth quarter he's getting tired, so his conditioning ain't there. He looks a little gingerly, and this Knicks team is one of the best defensive teams. They're both good defensive teams. The series price is a pick 'em. So, and if the Sixers don't, win that first game, they're 3-point underdogs in game one. I don't think they have the maturity. If this series goes 7 games, to go into New York and Madison Square Garden and win that 7th game. So this first game, they got to win this game, or else you might see the Knicks beat the Sixers in the series.
Do you think that's the end of the Embiid era if that guy gets bounced in the opening round by the Knicks?
I hope not. He's such a great player, and he's so good for the city. He gets it. It's going to be a big decision they're going to have to make, Dan.
How far do the Lakers go? They got the Nuggets in the opening round. Starts this weekend. You think I think it's a 4-game sweep.
I mean, Nuggets are 3-1 favorites. How much can LeBron do? He's getting older. You got Joe. It could be 4 or 5 games. Yeah.
Beast of the East. Boston's to take. Will anybody challenge them?
No, I mean, Giannis is all banged up and Embiid's banged up. They're favored to win the whole thing. I think they're like at minus 150 to win the whole thing. They're probably the best team in the NBA right now. Nuggets are close second. OKC's kind of dangerous. Dallas with Luka and Kyrie. They're a sleeper. The Timberwolves, they're going to be a sleeper. But no, I think the Celtics are the best team in the NBA.
It's funny. I mentioned something to you about moving on from Embiid. If you're New Orleans, how do you handle Zion Williamson? What you saw the other day, and at 41, he walks off the court in the biggest game of his entire career, and you saw him walk off. I mean, I don't know. The guy signs a max deal. It doesn't give you max effort all the time. And I don't know, man. I mean, it just doesn't. Your thoughts on that one there, because he's such a great looking talent when healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy, we put 41 points. It's I don't know what goes through these guys' head. They're making all that money. It's hard. They're young. They're doing so many things. Even Embiid, like you look at Embiid's numbers and you look at Jokic's numbers, and they're very similar. But when you watch him play on the court, it's so different. One's a lazy style of basketball, and the other one's just playing, lights out. So even though their stats look the same, Jokic is just so much better than Embiid, in my opinion. I think he gives you a better chance to win as a team. He's more of a team player. So these guys are making big money, Dan. You know that.
Let me finish it up with this one here. If you had to win a Super Bowl or one game, would you take A.J. Brown or would you take Terrell Owens? Terrell Owens played in a Super Bowl with a broken leg.
Give me T.O. Give me T.O.
Me too, man.
Give me T.O.
With the broken leg.
Give me T.O.
Dude, T.O. was a bear.
You saw the difference in McNabb that season. I mean, oh, my God, when he was healthy, they were putting up giant numbers. Then he comes back, and they were 7-point underdogs in the Super Bowl. And if McNabb doesn't throw up and can't handle the last 2 minutes of the game, the Eagles win that Super Bowl.
He doesn't throw up. I love it. Hey, Godfather, tell folks how they can find you, my friend.
You can find me on Twitter at Philly Godfather. You can stop by the PhillyGodfather.com. We didn't even talk about Porter from the Raptors, who was fixing the damn basketball games. That moron.
What is that about?
They banned him for life. That kid partnered up with somebody, and they put an $80,000 parlay in that would have paid out $1.1 million.
Not enough.
They bought all. They played all his NBA player prop bets. They bet all under. I mean, it's just the kid ruined his whole life, man. He made $2.3 million over the last 3 seasons. He gave it all up. It's sad.
Watch this too, Godfather. That's like somebody robbing a 7-Eleven. If I'm going to rob something, I'm robbing Fort Knox.
Yeah.
I'm not robbing 7-Eleven. So you gambled your career away on $1 versus $1 million.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And you know what? I hope it's not
And
an
you get
addiction for
talked
him.
into stupid shit by stupid people.
Yeah, and I hope it's not an addiction for him, because a lot of this gambling is getting out of hand with these young kids. And if it's an addiction, it's like alcohol, it's like drugs. The difference is this hurts the integrity of the game, and we're talking about billions upon billions, and they can't afford. That's why they banned them for life.
Absolutely. Godfather, love you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, my friend.
You got
Keep it pumping, man. Don't forget to catch out our good friend, Philly Godfather. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and certainly the easiest when you're watching the NBA. And the NBA playoffs are almost here, and you can win money making picks. What are you waiting for? Sign up on UnderdogFantasy.com and use the promo code WIN. An Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN. Get ready for the NBA and get ready for the NBA playoffs. Go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use the promo code WIN.
Philadelphia fans were cut from a different cloth. Born into a brotherhood and bonded to our team for life. We believe anything is possible because we've witnessed the impossible. While we may be from different neighborhoods, come Sunday, we are one, and we will be heard. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Mike Little was a union construction worker who was badly injured when he suffered a horrific fall because of someone's negligence. His life would change forever.
It was just a real downward spiral with everything you do, and you're sitting home by yourself all day. You can't go out because you can't drive, you can't walk well. It was just a horrible situation.
Call Brian Fritz at the Fritz and Beyond Cooley Law Firm at 215-548-2222.
EAGLES, Eagles.
GCU over Cal 21-17. They move on to the. They move on. They have to play the winner of Virginia and Arizona State. Then they play in the national championship game. My daughter's been captain for 3 years. And they're one game closer to playing for the national championship. She asked me a question today about being a champion. And I said, sometimes you have no control over the environment around you. The only thing you have control over is the things in front of you. Just play to the best of your ability. You can't control what's on the other side of you, what's away from you, players doing things that could cost you. She goes, what message should I send my team today? I said, don't be the one that makes the bad play. It's not about the great plays you make. It's about the poor plays you make. You try to stay away from as many bad plays as possible. Coach Johnson taught me that. He's like this. Sills, you don't really think it's about you getting 5 or 6 sacks in a game. Um, hey, Greasy, this is going to sound terrible. Get this. Greasy goes, what position does she play, Dan? Hey, Greasy, of course, in this degenerate room, go ahead, say it, Greasy. Dan Sileo's daughter plays hooker. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man, my kid. Hey, I am Ruiz. No, it's called hooker. Oh, man. Hey, Greasy, I don't really think you meant to set me up like that. Thank you, Jeff. I don't think you meant to set me up like that. Philly 007 is like, geez, you call your own daughter a hooker? Well, she's got a sign in her bedroom going, I'm the best hooker on the West Coast. And I'm like this, please don't show anybody this. She's like, why? Because I'm your daughter. I'm like, no. She goes, well, if you weren't my father, I could show this. I'm like, hey. Low hanging fruit. I know. I know, man. You guys, no, man. I know. Oh, hey, Tyler. Yeah, she's got a sign in her bedroom. I'm the best hooker on the West Coast. And I'm like, Danielle, please do me a favor, honey. Don't show that to anybody. Okay. Who's the knucklehead that came up with that name? What, Danielle? She's named after my grandpa, not me. My grandpa was named Daniel Sileo too. Yeah, I'm named after my grandpa. No, I wouldn't name her after me. I would actually name her after somebody with like high character and integrity. So I name her after my granddad. Holy cow. Man, she's so close to winning a national championship. And they give rings out too. They'll say national championship on them. Good night. That's so great. Hey, look at Senor. Get this, Senor. They're going to have to play, I think, if they get past Virginia. I think it's going to be Virginia. Danielle's never lost to Arizona State. And if Arizona State beats Virginia, they'll beat ASU. And then they'll go play Stanford for the national title. In her career, she's 1-1 versus the Cardinal. So, I mean, that's the only team on the West Coast that's beaten her has been Cal. No, Cal's never beaten her. She's undefeated against Cal, UCLA, USC. Get this, guys. My daughter's undefeated against Arizona State, Arizona. In 4 years, she started. 3-year captain. She's never lost to Arizona State, Arizona, UCLA, USC, Cal, San Diego State, and she's 1-1 versus Stanford. So Stanford's like the only team, I think, out of California that's beaten her once. Yeah, they've beaten Claremont College, which is a 3-time national champion. I meant Hook. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I bet she's the best hooker in the league. I can't get mad at that, Ruiz. Hey, Sills, I bet your daughter's the best hooker in the league. Do me a favor. When she comes home and I start doing my show, don't bring this conversation up, please. No wonder I don't like Dan. It's instinctive. Oh, man. No. Hey, Miller, if you're from Philly, you hate everyone. Don't you get that? If you're from Philly, Boston, New York, Baltimore, any of those areas, Philly, you don't like too many people. Guy sits next to you at a ball game. He's at Lincoln Financial. And a guy's sitting there and he's got shrimps next to you, and you got like you got a hamburger in your hand, you got some fries, you got a beer, and you're watching the guy dipping shrimp and sipping like champagne or some shit, or a white wine spritzer. Are you sitting next to that? I'd be like this. Damn, dude. You need a napkin? Yeah. I go, let me guess, you drinking old Duels. That's a guy that's got an old anybody with an old Duels 6-pack in their refrigerator, don't watch this show. Please. Damn, DCU has been dominating their opponents. That Cal game was close. They were down with 2 minutes left, and they scored late. That hasn't happened all year. Hey, you see that one of them scores, Senor? 73 or 79 to nothing. They've been killing people, man. I'm sure she's fine. It's being a hooker. It's a good, bad problem. Oh, man. Not the spritzer. Oh, that's the 49er drink over there in Santa Clara. Seriously, man, when you go to a 49er game, and this is at the Niner all day. 78-0. Yeah. That's a game I almost got thrown. Hey, Senor, that's the game I almost got thrown out of. I told the referee, I have a $100 bill in my pocket. Xander gave it to me. I have a $100 bill in my pocket, and I said, hey, ref, you want to keep it fair? I'll give you the $100. I got a C note in my pocket. They almost threw me out for that. Hey, make the game fair. Here's $100. The guys came over to me. You can't be doing that, guy. I was like Odell Beckham at the national title game, passing out C notes. She's a senior. Yeah, this is it. 4 years, 3-year captain. I think she's lost like 4 games in 4 years. It's been psycho great. And all through COVID. She was supposed to go to Quinnipiac. And she was supposed to play either up at Quinnipiac or Central Washington or Lindenwood. But because of COVID, it kind of like threw her off. Sills, in August, going to be 20 years since my dad died from stage 4 cancer. Dude, never get over stuff like that, Kyle. Never get over my grandpa passing in 98. No way. No way. Piece of you goes, doesn't it? The only thing, hey, Kyle, am I right when I say this to you, Kyle? The only thing that doesn't happen now is the crying. Right? You are missing the Cal game to be here with you. Yeah, I have a responsibility to do my show. Yeah. You guys, hey, Senor, are you here every day? Hey, Senor, let me ask you something here. Xander knows this. Have I ever taken a day off? Have I ever disrespected you by taking days off? Have I ever disrespected you by not showing up and giving the best effort I can? Yes, I am. Yes, Senor. Have I ever missed a day? With all you fine folks who give me shit too? I disrespect Senor with the, no, you mean the cowboy helmet. Ruiz says, yeah, I lost my mom 3 months ago. Let's talk sports. Good for you, man. Good for you. No. We're good, dog. We're good. No way, man. Kidding me? All good. Yeah, I know. Rip, hey, all good. All the typing. One Super Bowl is crazy, killer. Hey, there's Niner all day to bring us back into the world where we are. Good luck to little Danny. That's right. She's little D to me. Can't talk trash to sobriety. Yeah, no. Good for you, man. Absolutely. I can't. Hey, sobriety to me though is laying off the gabardines and uh like Scungil. That ain't happening. How did Sileo die? He died on an overdose of gabagool and Scungil. Sills, what crybaby are you drafting? AJ or Debo? Let me see. I got to take my glasses off for that. Man, whew. I might need a bib for that one. Hey, Cosmo, I might need a bib for that one. What baby am I drafting? Who do I have to sing to sleep? Debo or AJ Owens? Who do I have to sing to sleep? We came here for leisure and entertainment. We get paid, my friend. 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week. Most are here. Thank you, Joe. And Joe, get this. Now I know Joe's a fan of the show. Shit, the way Joe talks, I thought he hated my filthy guts. Hey, Joe, I thought you hated my filthy guts, but I mean, that's the kind of, hey, Joe, that's the kindest thing you said since you've come here. That's the kindest thing that you said since you rolled on here, man. I'll give you a bib and a Corona. I'm good. I'll take it. Right? Dude, next week's a draft. Holy cow. One of the best weeks of the NFL season is the NFL draft. I cannot wait. Fantastic stuff. I do want to say congratulations to my daughter. She just texted me, Dad, we did it. We're moving on. Said, that's big hurdle one. You got 3 hurdles yet. One of them was today. You got one more hurdle Sunday. Then you got another hurdle for the national championship. Very cool. And you guys. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Monday, 2 to 6. Xander, Big Joe, thank you. And we'll see you on the flip side.